What is up, my friends? We are live and I'm delighted to be here with you guys for the first pre-season game of, well, this new campaign. The team news is in. We'll go through it for you in a moment. Let me just clear up the whole Jeremy Jacquet thing. And I wasn't trying to be rude to people in the chat by deleting comments. I just don't want incorrect news to be put out there. So here's where we are with Jacquet. It's precautionary. He felt a little something. It isn't a fresh injury. He will still be training. But remember, he was late back in. So there's no new injury, nothing like that we're aware of. The reports are it's precautionary and he will still be training. But it feels like this game just came a little bit too early for him. So again, if anybody thought I was being rude by removing some posts in the chat, that wasn't my intention. I just had to make sure that I got the news across as and when we started. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first poll question that we have for you tonight is a bit of a fun one. Reports came out earlier on from Sasha Cavalieri to suggest that Luis Diaz is in talks to go and join Al Hilal, and that those negotiations are being led by none other than our sporting director, Richard Hughes. So the question I have for you, how do you feel hearing about that news, that Richard Hughes is apparently leading negotiations to take Luis Diaz from Bayern Munich to Al Hilal while he's still Liverpool sporting director? Should we sack him, or sack him? Up to you. Not for me to say, but we'll let and see how it goes in a little while. So yeah, excited to be back with you guys. This one came in before we started and I got to bring it up on screen. Thank you so much, my man. First super chat in the new studio for a watch along. Absolute legend, Tyler. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate you and lovely to have you in, my man. Craig, happy for the start of the year. Absolutely. This is the fun stuff. This is the stuff I've been waiting all summer for, you know, to actually get to see the Reds in action. So the starting 11 is confirmed on the screen there. It is Georgie Mamardashvili in goal, then Frimpong, Gomez, Ndai and Costas making up the back four. Curtis Jones, McConnell in midfield, then Morrison, Elliott and Rio with Will Wright up top. Now, don't take our formation as a given. We're just doing our best to figure it out as we go along. The bench for Liverpool then, Woodman, Davies, Kirkes, Soboslai, Chiesa, Abe, Neoni, Chambers, Ramsey, Scanlon, Kumas, Sonny Lambi, and Ndweke. So strong bench for the Reds as well. Plenty of options there. And the fun starts now. We get to have a first look at Andoni Iraola football. And I can't wait. I really can't. But yeah, the whole situation with Hughes is an absolute mad one at the minute. Like, it really is. I don't know. Look, either Sasha Cavalieri's got his reporting really wrong, or we're in a little bit of a sticky situation. I don't know. It's crazy. Look, I don't particularly care about the Diaz side of it and the actual transfer. Just the idea of what are we doing? You know, what is Hughes at here? Right. Hey, Craig, said Johnny. Evening. Thought Liverpool then. SummerSlam. Nice. So I'm going to be watching the AJ fight actually after this. Obviously, it's clashing with it, so I have that sorted for later on as well. But look, I'm honestly buzzing to be here with you guys and excited for the game. The blackout shirt is gorgeous. Thank you. Yeah, I've been keeping it up till I lost a bit of weight. So I feel a bit more comfortable now in my own skin. So yeah, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. It's the green and white version, the original one of this, is my favourite Liverpool away shirt ever. And I have that one up as well for the season ahead. So is this youth a real Liverpool? It's real Liverpool, but a lot of our players aren't fully back into pre-season yet. You know, some of the guys have been at the World Cup and they'll be coming back in staggered increments. So today is really the lads who were either not at the World Cup or came back really early. And I think, in fact, it's just not at the World Cup for most of them. But look, we get to have a look at the style. We get to have a look at the pressing, and we get a proper look at Andoni Iraola's Liverpool team, which is good to say after the frustration we've all felt in this summer's transfer window. Frozen said, first watch along in the new studio. Congrats. Thank you. We did promise you we'd have all the graphics back up and that ready to go. And Connor has been working hard in the background to make sure all of that's happened. So as always, much love to Mr. Crosby and thank you for all your hard work. Right, let's keep going. Padge, how are you, my man? Evening, mate. Let the hope and expectation begin. Look, yes, by the way, Padge, absolutely, bro. And almost 1 year with us, my man. Thank you. Well, look, I want to say this to everybody. don't worry about the result. Don't worry about any of that type of stuff. Just enjoy it. Enjoy looking at some of the young lads. Enjoy looking at the style of football we're going to be playing. Don't be concerning yourselves about the result. It's pre-season. The result is meaningless. It is about seeing who impresses the manager, getting these guys fit, and of course building up minutes to then make sure that when the time the Premier League kicks off, the Reds are ready to go. The window is a disgrace. It's horrible. Have no words. Why not back Iraola? Well, I mean, I'm with you, bro. I'm right there with you. But, you know, tonight, let's just focus on the game for now. Like, I get it, and I'm sure we'll chat transfers a little bit more as we go along. But I don't know. I'm just happy, man. I'm happy we get to watch the Reds again. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have a look and see what youngsters are going to impress. I'm excited to see, obviously, what type of patterns of play we're going to be looking at, how the press looks, all this kind of stuff. So if you're looking to watch the game, so in the US, I believe it's on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken, at least checking earlier on. If you're in the UK or Ireland, you can watch the game either on LFC TV or you can watch the game on All Red if you have an All Red membership. Now, remember that on the All Red membership, at the moment, they're giving out 14 days free trial. So you can check that one out as well. Prefer your smaller studio, Craig? Do you, Wayne? Well, this is an actual studio. The other one was a green screen in the corner of a living room. This is a big studio space. So I'm much happier here because, look, I can do this, and I can actually wave my arms around and gesticulate a little bit more. So I'm happy with this one. Thanks, mate. But appreciate your feedback, even if it was negative. Right. Adam said, do you think the club potentially wanted Rodrigo to be the Salah replacement before he got injured? I wouldn't know. Mate, look, you would have to say if Rodrigo wasn't injured, with the situation at Madrid and that as it is, probably would be a candidate. I'm sure it would probably be a candidate for Arsenal as well. But I don't know is the honest answer. I'd be guessing. I don't have any idea. Look, I can't be the only one, though, that since the news that Real Madrid are interested in trying to get Yan Diamonde, I can't be the only one who's asking, why aren't we shithousing a bid for Elise? I mean, you don't ask, you don't get, right? So why aren't we testing the waters with Michael Elise and seeing if Bayern Munich will sell? They probably won't, but, you know, we should be looking to do the best that we can do in this window. So I think if Real Madrid are making it clear they want Diamonde, if I'm Liverpool, I'm knocking on Bayern Munich's door and at least testing the waters. Because let's be honest, he's probably the dream replacement, if we were to get one, to come in on the right-hand side. I mean, if we're all sitting down and thinking about who the best fit would be, I think Michael Elise would probably be that guy. But, yeah. So, look, a lot of people I see in the chat asking, is it on LFC TV's YouTube channel if you have a premium membership? I honestly don't know. I'm embarrassed to say, lads. So, maybe somebody in the chat can help that one out as well. Right. Let's keep going. Headed to my first game today after watching the Reds for 8 years old, now at 26. Super excited. Wish the best to you. I'm delighted for you, Brian, my man. Brian, excuse me. That's it is Brian. It is Brian, excuse me. I'm delighted for you, Brian. That is awesome, my man. And do me a favour. If you see Richard Hughes, say hi or ask him what he's doing. But either way, enjoy it. So happy for you, man. I was watching earlier on the team arrival in Nashville, and it was lovely to see them interacting with so many Liverpool fans as well. And I love this part of the pre-season where the Reds go over, whether it's America or whether it's Australia, to meet up with Reds who, you know, get limited opportunities to get up close with them. So delighted for you. I hope you have a wonderful time at the game, and fingers crossed that, well, we enjoy it, you know. When am I coming to Canada? 28th of September, I believe. I'm in Canada for a trip with the family. We'll be in Toronto, then we're going to Ottawa, and then we're going down to Niagara for a few days. So, yeah, looking forward to getting over to Canada. And, yeah, it's been 21 years since I've been over. Craig, any news on the stories of Liverpool rejecting the opportunity to get Vinny? Look, I mean, I'm not surprised for a couple of reasons. One, the wages. It's rumoured that Vinicius Jr. wants about 600,000 quid a week to sign a new deal at Madrid. And then there was talk of about a 15 million quid loyalty bonus. I can't speak to why Liverpool rejected, as you said, the advances or didn't really want to get into the conversation. You know, wouldn't be for me to say. But as a fan, you know, you would never say no to a player of Vinicius Jr.'s talent, but I never really thought there would be much to it. And I can't really see Arsenal paying what it would take either, if I'm being honest. About 600 grand a week. I don't know if Arsenal would pay that and probably blow their wage structure wide open. Look, my honest assessment of that one is, I feel like both of them are playing hardball and he wants to stay at Real Madrid. But Madrid and him seem to be doing this very tricky dance at the minute. But Madrid are in a tough spot, because he can sign a pre-contract in January if he doesn't extend and leave them next summer. Darren said it'd be nice to meet up if in between Toronto and Niagara. Hey, I've said this before, Darren. If it's possible, we are absolutely happy to make a little stop off and say hi to a few people, mate. It will be a pleasure. Leave it with me, though. A bit closer to the time, maybe drop me a message on here and we'll see what we can do. This one, Paul said, can't wait to see Ndai looking great, Craig. Thank you. So today officially marks 35 pounds in weight loss, which is 2.5 stone. So I'm really happy with the start, but I'm only halfway there. My goal was to lose 70 pounds. I'm 35 down, getting better, feeling better, but still a long way to go. But appreciate you, Paul, and thank you so much, mate, for being with us. And yeah, can't wait to have a look at Ndai as well. Also, it'll be interesting to see Frimpong in the right-back role tonight. How advanced is he going to get? I'm actually looking forward to having a look at Will Wright as well. Obviously brought him in from Salford, fought off competition from Arsenal for him. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, Rio as well. Morrison always looks bright when he gets a chance. Jonathan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, my friend. Really do. Thank you so much. Camel Deep, long time no see, my man. I hope you're well, or maybe I've just missed you in the chat, bro. But either way, I hope you're well. Excited to see the team, but the window is dreadful. There's no getting away from that, Camel Deep, dude. You're right. The window's an absolute... It's a disgrace, mate. That's the only word I can use at this moment. It's a disgrace. For Liverpool to have gotten in one player in this window, and that was a release clause that was triggered because Newcastle were looking to try and sign him. It's not good enough. And, I was reading something earlier on from James Pearce talking about the fact that Liverpool obviously have Barcola as their top talent, or top target. Well, what are we doing? Have we bid yet? Because nothing seems to be happening around Liverpool at the minute. And I know that a lot of people want to give a benefit of the doubt. I wish I was that way inclined, but I frankly don't think they deserve a benefit of the doubt because the recruitment team have been all over the place. And again, this is the first game of pre-season, so we're already into Andoni Iraola putting through the lads through their paces on the training ground, starting to build up an understanding of a system, and no new signings anywhere to be seen outside of Munoz, who of course will be late in because of the World Cup. Itachi said, first watch along after Arna, man, I'm happy. Oh, dude, same. It's lovely to have, look forward to an upbeat, attacking, fun brand of football again. Yeah, it's so cool. I can't wait to see it. But look, I can't lie. I am concerned about the season ahead. It's concerning. Like, you're looking around and we're already playing catch up. And as I said many times in Late Night Agenda streams, we got rid of 3 really, really important players at the end of the season. Salah went, Robbo went, Canade went. And as of yet, we haven't replaced them. Now, that is a piss take. And that's before we build out to catch up again. So we're already coming from behind. We haven't done enough. And now you've got other clubs out there doing their business, getting it done. And we're still, looking at Bradley Barcola, like James Pearce said earlier on. Let me just read you out this, because some of this stuff is just nonsense, to be honest, folks. Let me read you out what Mr. Pearce was saying earlier on, and I can tell you why I think it's absolute garbage. So James Pearce said, since the pursuit of Leipzig's Jan Diamonde floundered being we got let down the garden path, James. But anyway, I digress. Bradley Barcola has been Liverpool's top target. And this is where James Pearce really starts to talk even more garbage, in my opinion. However, agreeing a deal is far from straightforward with Paris Saint-Germain, who are under no pressure to sell, volume in excess of 100 million. I don't quite agree with James. They are somewhat under pressure to sell because if they don't sell Barcola or extend him, he's getting into the point where he's got 1 year to go then at the end of the upcoming season. And PSG aren't going to want to lose him for half of his value. So I kind of disagree with James Pearce that I do think PSG are under a little bit of pressure. He goes on there to say something else that, again, I just think is nonsense. He said, Liverpool have inquired about the availability of Monaco's Magnus Akliouche, who would be a cheaper alternative. But he's not an alternative. That's the thing. Pearce knows that. I know that. Anybody within football knows that. Akliouche is ending up at PSG. Anybody trying to say that he's a realistic target for Liverpool is talking out their arse. He wants PSG. PSG want him. All that remains is for them to get a deal over the line with Monaco, but everything else is in place. So anybody trying to say that, again, is just excusing the football club from not doing their job. And that's what winds me up every summer. The amount of these journalists that will do everything but ask the tough questions, will do everything but probe. And of course they won't. Why would they? They're over there now covering the team, having a nice little jolly up. This is what I'm saying, folks. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we as fans are once again not being given what we need or not being represented. These are the guys that are supposed to push back on the club for us. These are the ones supposed to ask the questions. What's happening? Where's Richard Hughes? When can we expect the next signing? Have we moved further along? Keep going over and saying we like Barcola. That's just nothing. That's just empty. Find the Past said, I'm expecting a hungry Harvey after last season's BS. Again, yeah, it's a difficult one because Liverpool will have to make a decision on Harvey. Again, he's one of the 11 we talked about that have 1 year to run on his deal. So either Harvey Elliott impresses, gets a new deal, or he impresses and gets sold in this window. Either way, Liverpool will have to do something there. And that's why I keep coming back to, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do, because if you're going through the list of 11 players whose contract's up in a year, you've got Joe Gomez. Liverpool want to lose him for free, surely that would be madness. Curtis Jones, again, you don't want to lose him for free. Harvey Elliott, it's madness. Costas, I just don't understand what we're at and how people are trying to say that we aren't a bit panicky behind the scenes. We clearly are. So, for what it's worth, I want to keep Elliott. I want to keep Curtis Jones. I want those two lads extended. That would be my preference. Costas, I've said it before, I would sell to get in a better option at left back. Moving into the centre-back territory, well, again, your guess is as good as mine. There has been some reports to say that Liverpool are at least going to dip their toes in the market for a right winger. Or, excuse me, a right back. Apologies, a right back. But as of yet, don't really have a concrete name for you. We've talked about Ratu before. We know there's a €25 million release clause. We know that Liverpool have agreed a package with his agency, but again, they haven't triggered the clause. Hey Craig, hope you're well. Is Xhaka injured? Not injured. The line is he felt something. That's the line, and it's precautionary. And then they said he's still going to train. So I don't think it's a fresh injury. But again, in pre-season, the club are just being precautionary. But, you know, we heard this before as well about Thiago, and it ended up him being out for a really long time. So I'm taking them at their word on this one, but I haven't had time yet, obviously, to try and look into it in more detail or, you know, pick up the phone and start ringing people and asking them about it. So for now, we'll take the club at their word and hope that it is just, you know, he feels something maybe in the shoulder that he's recovering from or something like that. Josh, what a man. How are we, dude? 3 years, absolute legend. 3 whole years as an Ultras member. Loved all the moments. Thanks for being the best host, Craig. You're the best. Mate, I can't thank you enough. 3 years as an Ultra member is absolutely incredible, Josh. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of our community, my man. And of course, thank you for the kind words. Aaron said, I refuse to renew my Liverpool membership until we start acting like a big club in the transfer window. I get it. Aaron, you're not going to get any argument from me, dude. You know, last season, until Arna was sacked, I was saying I'm not spending a penny. I'm not giving any more money towards Liverpool Football Club until they start actually acknowledging the mess that we're in. And they did get round to it. They did fire him. But now here we are in the transfer window, you know, and still nowhere near enough done. So I understand it. I get your frustration, sir. Stephen, how are you? Said, we won't sign anybody else. We've seen this so many times. It's, you know, in my mind, Stephen, one part of my brain is going, we have to sign somebody. We're going to sign somebody. Surely we're going to sign somebody. We need a right winger. We need a right back. But I get where you're coming from. And as much as I do think we will make another few signings, I absolutely understand your perspective and I can see where you're coming from on it. You know, we have been shafted many times by FSG and their lack of appetite, shall we say. Obviously, a lack of appetite is not something that I've ever suffered from, but FSG certainly seem to be making a mess of it. Every time we win the league and we're told we're going to build on it, doesn't really work out that way. Craig, it's a weird we didn't go for Adeyemi for €22 million. With Adeyemi, you know, you have to have a conversation about his off-field activities, and that's as much as I can really say. And I have a little Google of it, but I'm not surprised we didn't look at Adeyemi. Like, there's been some names linked to us that I just don't think are good enough. Like Yankuba Minta. I'm not having that. I just don't think he's good enough. Because remember who we're replacing here. We're replacing Mohamed Salah. And we've had plenty of time to plan, succession plan for him. And also, as I keep repeating, we the club, ripped up his contract 12 months early and let him walk out the door. Now, we did that. That was a conscious decision from the club. Now, where's the replacement? You know, because these lads have spent the last 2 years being rimmed by the media, being told how brilliant they were, how it was a data-led recruitment with cold hard decision makers that remove emotion from the process and deal in facts. Well, the fact is they've done fuck all. That's the fact. So these lads have been getting smoke blown up their backside for years as being the best in the business. Well, what's Richard Hughes been doing this summer? You know, when you've got journalists reporting that Hughes is dealing the Diaz deal to go to Al Hilal, what the hell is that about? So, 100% of the people who voted in the poll said sack him, because that was the only option that I gave you. But thank you for playing along. Peter said, hey Craig, who's on the bench? 1 second, my man. I'm not sure if I have the bench actually here. 1 second. I don't think I have the bench. It was on LFC. Connor, can you send me the bench, or can Keane send me on the bench? I don't think I have the bench here in my notes. Bear with me, mate. Maybe I can have a look at my phone for you. 1 second, dude. Let me have a look and see if I can get it this way. Right, the bench. We have Kirkes, Soboslai, Chiesa, Woodman, Abe, Nioni, Ramsey, Davies, Chambers, Scanlon, Kumas, Sonny Lamby, and Ndweke. That's the Liverpool bench. So yeah, plenty of options there. And again, you would expect it's probably 145 per team, probably. You know, 45, change the 11 for the second half, another 45. Jeff Porter said, morning Craig, as I'm sure you'd be aware, I'm pleased at the prospect of Liverpool possibly being in for Neto. I remember monitoring a few years back just before these rumours came out. So, do you remember yesterday and last week when I came on and I said to you guys that Liverpool were monitoring Pedro Neto and that it's something I've been told to keep an eye on? And then lots of people came in again telling us we know nothing, we're making shit up. And then today, there it is out in the media, that Liverpool, the Standard newspaper and a few others in the UK, reporting that Liverpool are looking at Pedro Neto as an option. So, you know, I don't like it. I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world, but we can only report what we hear and what we know to be the case. Doesn't always mean we agree with it, but Pedro Neto is somebody that Liverpool have been given the opportunity to at least have that conversation about. As well as that, of course, Jed Spence, that's another one that we were told to keep an eye on, and Pedro Neto, as well as Bradley Barcola, and a young Premier League defender whose name I can't give you at this time yet because of some sensitivities around somebody's job. Victor, in my football manager career, I used Frimpong right wing. There you go. I don't know. Look, I'm actually happy we're going to see him at right back. That makes me happy that we're going to see Frimpong at right back, because at least then we're going to get a look at him in that position under Iraola. Stevie Boy said, this football club is an absolute circus with the Hughes situation. So just in case you think we're on a wind-up or something about Richard Hughes, you can find this post yourself on X. Search Sasha Tavalieri, that's the journalist. He said, Al Hilal continues to explore the market for attacking players. In the Luis Diaz case, Richard Hughes is leading the negotiations. The Saudi club are ready to convince the Colombians camp with a salary worth around €25 million net per season. It's important to clarify that Al Hilal are not in talks with Bayern Munich, and they will not enter into negotiations until they reach an agreement with the player first. The Saudi club has an overall transfer budget of $350 million this summer and is prepared to offer between $120 million and $150 million if the Colombian gives the green light. So, reports there that our sporting director, Liverpool FC sporting director, Tricky Dicky Factor 50, Richie Robot Hughes, is actively talking about a deal to take a player that isn't a Liverpool player over to a club that has nothing to do with Liverpool. It's wonderful, isn't it? What a life these lads get. Thank God we have the data-led recruitment led by cold hard decision makers who, not only remove emotion from the decision, but even remove club loyalties from the decision. I mean, how lucky are we? We get lads who are working on deals for everybody. We're a community club. You know what I mean? Have any issues in the transfer market? Tricky Dicky's on the phone. Don't worry about it. Richie Robot's here. Factor 50 at the ready. We can make deals. We can make deals for anybody. Except us, apparently. What's this one? James said, I mate Anfield, not angry that you got Munoz, or by the way, because Tory is overall a better player than Munoz. I mean, look, I'm just happy we got Munoz because I think he's a good option and I think he'll buy into the way that we play. I'm not looking at it as a we one-upped you guys or anything like that. I'm just happy we got him in, I have a soft spot for Newcastle. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I know we've had issues over the Isak situation, but I've always had a soft spot for Newcastle and their fans. So, I wish you the best for the season ahead. I mean that sincerely. Solly Goodman. Hey Craig, my friend lost both parents recently and works 2 jobs at 18 to support a 6-year-old sister. I tried to help, but stuck at college. He always tells me about your channel and how you inspire him. Well, firstly, let me just say what a young man. Obviously, what he's been through there. Oh, God, you wouldn't wish it on anybody. But, to step up, work hard, try and look after his little sister. What a man. Legend. Do pass on our very best to him and give him a hug for me as well. And thank you, my man. Elephant and Castle is the Liverpool bar in Toronto. Thank you. That actually means a lot. I'll try and source out where that is. But yeah, I'm in Toronto for 4 nights. So we're there, I think, the 28th, 29th, 30th, and the 1st. I think we're down in Toronto. And after that, we're heading up to Ottawa. Bring in Elise and laugh at Madrid, dare to dream, said Itachi. We absolutely should be at least trying. I'm not saying that it would be easy to go in there and get them. But with Madrid now stepping aside, surely you have to at least test the waters for Michael Elise and see, if Bayern can be tempted. Indian Scouser said, Vinny Saga is a ploy by his agent for Real Madrid to pay high. I agree. I absolutely agree with you, sir. And, he doesn't want to leave Madrid. You can see that. But he wants to be paid. And Madrid know now that they're in a tricky position with him. Excuse me. So I agree. I think it is a ploy. And I do think he ends up staying there unless Madrid are forced into trying to get some money in the door and they want to sacrifice Vinicius Jr. But let's wait and see. Craig, what's your opinion on the amount of preseason games? Is it the right amount for Iraola to get a system in before season? It's a good question. So we've got the double header, obviously. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, really, it's 5 different days, so feels about right. Obviously, some other clubs have been in action a little bit earlier than us, but I'm sure that they would have looked through it, worked it out. And, if Andoni Iraola's happy with it, I'm happy with it. But I guess we'll get to find out if he's able to have the desired impact quick enough. But today it's just about really just getting an idea and an understanding of what maybe we're going to see under Andoni Iraola as Liverpool head coach. And I'm buzzing for it, mate. I'm buzzing. Mitchell, thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Nedge, always a pleasure, bro. Said, hey, Craig, we need to move on from Barcola now. Dragging on too long. It's holding up other areas of Liverpool seem incapable of doing multi-deals at once. So the part that I find weird about all of it, Nedge, is we don't know of one single bid or anything that's gone in. So it feels weird moving on from somebody that I don't actually know what we've done. I'm not sure what type of conversations have been had. I've no idea where we are with Barcola's camp or not. I honestly haven't got a clue. So, on this one, you've got nothing for me to say it's done or not because I don't have a clue. So like you, mate, I'm sitting around going, can we not do multiple things at once? Why aren't we out there getting it right? Like, what really annoys me is we can get it right back tomorrow. A deal is agreed. We've agreed a deal with Andoni Iraola and his agent for his wages and a package. There's a release clause that can be triggered at Rayo Vallecano for €25 million. That could be done tomorrow. And there's other deals as well that Liverpool have been in discussions about, but seemingly are waiting and waiting. I don't know if they're waiting for maybe something to spark the market into activity or somebody that they think could become available. But ultimately, Jed Spence is another option. Now, we'll all have our own take on whether we think Jed Spence is good enough or not. And for me, I'm dubious. But we know there's a willing seller. We know roughly the price. So what are we doing? We need to get in a centre-back. Again, as fans, we didn't decide to let Canade leave. We didn't make that decision. The club did. And you cannot let an international calibre defender like Canade walk out the door for free and then think we don't replace him. That's cheap and it's stupid. So yeah, it happens over and over again. Like I said, season ended and we're now 3 players down. We've brought 2 more back in, so we're still -1 from last season. Maybe you could say Elliott makes up that number. But we certainly haven't added any squad depth. It's crazy. What channel is the match on in Ireland? I'm watching it on LFC TV on my Sky platform. I know it's also on All Red, the streaming platform. Apart from that, I don't think it is on anywhere else. I know in America it's on ESPN or ESPN Plus or one of those channels. Iraola makes players better though, right? And we don't need to sign anyone then because Iraola makes players better. I mean, come on, dude. Making players better should be a bonus, but he should be given what he needs as well. And I wouldn't want to coach at the club that at least we don't think will make players better. But you can't keep asking coaches to pull miracles out of their backside when, again, we keep being reminded over and over and over again about the acumen of FSG and all the commercial activity that's been added to the club and all the money that we're generating and bringing it in. Well, where is it? Where's the active market? Last summer, in our big summer, the one that we're going to hear about forever, we were still outspent by Arsenal. That's the gist of it. They had a bigger net spend than we did. And they're out there this summer now again, looking to bring in Julian Alvarez. They've brought in Solis, the winger. They're looking to bring in somebody else of a top quality as well. They're talking about midfielders. It's crazy. Like, other clubs are catching up and going ahead. Look at the business that Chelsea have done in this window and continuing to do. Aston Villa out there getting deals done. Yes, they lost Morgan Rogers, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that, again, somehow, as fans, we're expected to look at this and try and find a positive in it. There isn't one. Don't look for it. It doesn't exist. It's a shit show. And yes, Iraola will do well, but imagine what he could do with the proper resources. So if we all agree that he's a good coach and we all agree that he's going to improve players, imagine what he could do then with even more money. And imagine what he could do with even more players. Because we do know one thing, Andoni Iraola's style of football is going to be taxing on the players. It's going to be asking a lot of them. They're going to be running a lot. We're going to be fitter. But we're also going to burn out a little bit quicker. And we may have an injury or two. And we're coming off the back of a World Cup summer where the players have had, some of them a shortened summer. It's so crazy. I really don't understand how these lads get away with this and over again. Even if they start scrambling now, still over half the window done. And again, we know that the managers want to work with players as much as they can. Iraola said it in his first press conference that selfishly, managers would like everyone there on day 1 of pre-season, which of course I understand. And he understands that that is impossible. You blew 500 million last summer and they all flopped. Stop crying. Well, firstly, we didn't spend 500 million. Secondly, they haven't all flopped. And thirdly, we spent 150 million net. But don't let facts get in the way of your stupidity, mate. You know, I'll give you the platform to show the world how stupid you are. And you crack on. Enjoy yourself. Uncle Craig's here to have a laugh with you. But we'll see how Wirtz has flopped and Isak's flopped this season, dude. Don't you worry about that. They'll be just fine. But you just crawl back from whatever rock you came out under, mate. And, you know, enjoy your summer. Right, Wayno, how are we, dude? Hoping for a good showing today with great attacking football. 3 years of the best channel on YouTube. And here's to many more. WFM to you and the family. Thank you, Wayne. Much love to you as well and your fiancé. Squeak, how are we, sir? Nice to see you, my man. Can't wait for the Iraola era to begin. I'm buzzing for the game tonight. Big up on the weight loss. That's incredible, my man. Much love. Thank you. Look, I appreciate the thanks, but it shouldn't have happened. You know, I shouldn't have put the weight on in the first place. I once upon a time lost 102 pounds. Then COVID came and, you know, being locked down, you know, I was lazy. Let's just put it that way. And the weight came back on. So it's on me to lose it. And appreciate the kind words, my man. But plenty to go, yeah. Plenty to go. Thoughts on the lineup? And love you, Craig. Thank you, LFC CFL. It's an interesting one. You know, I never really pay too much attention to the lineups. Oh, Seamus out there giving out Liverpool jerseys. Good man, Seamus. Nice one. Yeah, I never really worry too much about them. I'm more excited to see the players than being concerned about the actual 11. You know, as long as everybody can get through it, get minutes in their legs, and hopefully no new injuries, I think we should be good. What do you think of my FPL name, worst case scenario? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I'm in a little bit of trouble with FPL actually, Jaden, because my first name got me a warning. My second name is awaiting moderation, and I don't think that's going to get through either. And it's a little Irish humour. My name has always been Inter Your Ma. And apparently that's, you know, that's no go in FPL, so I might have to make a new account at this point, Jaden, but that's a good one. Worst case scenario. Well done. I love it. I love a good pun. Big Chili too. How are we, dude? Hey, dude. Great to be back. Hope yourself, your family, and everybody in the chat are well. Very underwhelming summer so far. I like Connor. Also predicted Spain to win the World Cup. Welcome back, mate. Thank you, bro. And yeah, I'm delighted for Spain. You know, I actually view Spain as a second home because it's the country I've visited most in the world outside of Ireland, where I live, obviously. And it's a country where I fully expect to live within the next 5 to 8 years and move over there. So delighted for them. It wasn't a great final though, was it? You know, it wasn't the spectacle that we'd seen 4 years earlier between Argentina and France, but still the right team won in the end. And yeah, thank you. Great to have you back, my man, and welcome to a new season. Who's on the bench, said official Z4B? 2 seconds, bro. I'll get that for you now. So for the Reds, it's Kirkes, Soboslai, Chiesa, Woodman, Abe, Neoni, Chambers, Ramsey, Scanlon, Kumas, Davies, Ndweke, and Sonny Lambie. That's the Liverpool bench, my man. We should take a break from this Barcola links and just send a bit in for Elise. Damn right, Matthew. I'm with you, dude. You know, why not? What have we got to lose? Because I think we'll all admit Elise would be the dream. So why not? I'm with you, mate. Why not go and put a bit in? First game should be a great tribute to King Kev. Yes, it's lovely to see that Liverpool and Newcastle are working on something to obviously celebrate the life and mourn the passing of Kevin Keegan. It's a wonderful initiative, and yeah, I'm with you, mate. It's going to be a touching moment at the start. PC Drat looking good, Craig. Hope all's well with the family. Family are good, thank you. Yeah, family are good. My daughter's actually at the Wolftones tonight up in Dublin. My son is up playing his computer, and my wife is, I don't actually know, she's out and about somewhere, I think. But yeah, all good, thank you. We should get Arathabal, very humble, no ego player. I don't think we need a striker, though. Like, I can kind of understand people talking about bringing in a striker, but it's a long-term solution to a short-term problem. So I would rather we try and look at utilising what we have or bringing in somebody who can play right across the front three. I don't know about Iraola and the Premier League, but he does work really hard, like you've said, and he's a very easy player to like. If we're so in for Barcola, who's naturally a left winger, shouldn't we test the waters for Yildiz as well? Proper creative winger that could help Isak massively. I would say, though, yes, I like Yildiz as a player, but with Barcola, I think we have to acknowledge, and you're right, he is a naturally left-sided player or, prefers to come in off the left. But look at what he is for his age bracket. And I can absolutely understand the appeal and why we're looking at it. But, 24, been 2 Champions League wins back-to-back, been at World Cups, very experienced and still with room to improve and develop. So I can see why we're there. I'm just a little bit annoyed that we haven't seen offers go in or any real conversation about a progress of our pursuit of him. Hughes hasn't a Scooby. Well, he does. He's loads of information about Al Hilal and Luis Diaz, apparently. I've seen a clip of how rival content creators feel about Liverpool's summer and upcoming season. Safe to say we're the laughing stock of England at the minute. Look, I don't know why you torment yourself by doing that, but I get where you're coming from. I think we're probably a little bit better off than Newcastle have been in recent transfer times, but again, we were promised a busy summer. We brought up a post the other day from Ben Jacobs, and it was, I think, back in the 16th of June or something like that, to say Victor Munoz signed and what will be the start of a busy summer for Liverpool. Well, here we are now over a month later, and nobody else through the door. Nobody sold. One new contract sorted out with Dom, which is brilliant news. And I think we're all over the moon that Dominic signed a new deal. That is top class. But yeah, it's not good enough. It just isn't. And the fact that FSG and our lads keep getting away with it without anybody calling them out publicly is an embarrassment. So I'll continue to call them out as I always try to do. But, speak up on social media because you are right to demand better. You can't just hang a manager out to dry by not giving him enough recruitment. You can't just say he improves players because, remember, this is the first time Andoni Iraola is coming in where he has to get used to 2 games a week. He has to get used to coaching the team for the weekend matches and then, of course, the Champions League games midweek. So he's on a learning experience here as well. And as much help as he can be given with the recruitment side of it and the depth of the squad, that will only stand us in good stead. So doing nothing is just setting him up for failure, and it's not good enough. Making players better is not a bonus, it's the minimum standard for any coach. I agree. You shouldn't be at a club like Liverpool unless that is a given. So yeah, but my argument has always been, fair enough, he makes players better, great. But imagine what he can do with better players or more of them. So the argument is always, yes, back to manager. This one, Jaden, said, hope he uses Kirkes and Jerry like Robbo and 66. He will absolutely have them on the front foot, yes. He loves his fullbacks to be high up the pitch and to press high. And I think, look, I really do think, Jaden, whatever happens in the recruitment or whatever else, we're going to enjoy watching the Reds more this season. Mustard Pop Productions, very interesting name, my friend. Hi Craig, hope you and the family are well. Only my second super chat. Your streams got me through a tough time. You're an inspiration, amazing community. This, honestly, you're gonna get me emotional, dude. I don't know what I've done to deserve you guys. I don't know what I've done to deserve the grace and the kindness and the love that you show us here on the channel. I'll always continue to try to repay that, even on my bad days when I'm a bit cranky. But thank you. I want to try and have a good influence on people. I want to try and get people to open up and speak up and talk about their emotions. And, if anybody views the channel as anything in a positive sense, means a lot. It really, really does. So thank you. And honoured to be your second super chat as well, bro. Really appreciate you. Toshkop. Hey Craig, so Vinny wants to come to us, but we declined. What is wrong with Hughes? Is he the worst sporting director in the last 10 or 15 years? I think without knowing exactly why we refused, it's hard to really give an answer. But you would imagine that we'd have at least wanted to have a conversation, right? Because, there could be a world there, and I'm just putting this out there, where you move on Cody Gakpo and you get in Vinny Jr. Now, nobody's going to tell me that's not an improvement. But I also understand that it would probably be a really expensive deal to bring in Vinny Jr. and pay the type of wages that he'd want. So wasn't really surprised on that one, but I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't tested the waters, like I've said before, for Elise now. Now that Madrid are kind of brief in their friendly media to boast about things, and by the way, they are, so let me read this out to you. Again, the Madrid-centric media are out in force very quickly, and they said, breaking, Real Madrid used Michael Elise rumours in the media while they were working in silence to sign Yan Diamonde. They even went to Germany in secret to finalise the deal. I wouldn't worry about going in secret to finalise the deal. Sure, Diamonde's agreed to join everybody. He's agreed to join Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. So, yeah, I don't know. But for us, it just looks like a joke. We briefed all the way through. Diamonde was the one we wanted. Diamonde's the successor for Salah. Diamonde. Then all of a sudden, David Ornstein says he wants to go to PSG. And here we are, still none the wiser, with our head in our hands, trying to figure it out. Do you think Maka will be booed for Argentina antics? No. You have to remember, he plays for Liverpool. And whilst I'm not going to try and speak for Scousers, I don't think there'd be too much upset over antics, shall we say. But and I don't think he really did anything either. I thought Maka had a good tournament. My only concern about Maka is, does he stay? Does he extend? That's the information on Maka that I'd like to know about. But no, he didn't do anything. Yeah. So, I'm going to speak up for Alexis. And yeah, hopefully, I'm sure if he stays, signs a new deal, I'm sure he'll be absolutely loved as always. James said, kids in bed, beers ready, and nowhere else I'd rather be tonight than here with this big family that is AA, created for all of us. Thank you, James. Nowhere else I'd rather be as well, mate. In here, ready to go. First watch along in the new studio. Big 65-inch TV to watch the games on for once. Everybody in the chat. Yeah, I'm excited, my man, and thank you for being with us, James. Yamal is the best winger in the world. I don't know. Is he? I mean, he will be. He will be, but, just enjoy him. I wouldn't be putting labels or anything on him. Just enjoy him. Yamal is going to give us all years of pleasure watching as a football fan. So just enjoy him, just enjoy him there at Barcelona or, playing for Spain or whatever he is, because he's a wonderful player. Kids in bed, beers ready, nowhere I'd rather be. I've done that one already. Matthew, my 76ers just signed LeBron, but my Reds are sitting idle and are doing absolutely nothing. Conflicting feelings and a pathetic showing so far this window. Yeah, I did. One of the guys on our Discord, Mike, is from Philly, and he was buzzing at the idea of LeBron finally going to Philadelphia. So delighted for him. But yeah, not much from a Liverpool perspective to be overly excited about at the minute, Matthew. Have you got a second TV set up for the Joshua fight? Nah, I had to leave after Josh Kelly, Queevy and the Jarkos fight. I had to just jump out and start watching the Liverpool stuff and get ready for the studio. But I'll rewatch the Joshua fight when I go back in later. LFC Wirepod said, Craig, how many more signings this window? I mean, we need 4 more for me, but what do I expect at this point? I mean, I kind of get the feeling we'll end up with 2 and excuses, or 2 and some late overpaying contract extensions. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Like I said to you guys a lot, I didn't know what Richard Hughes was doing. We had some information on like Julian Ward and David Woodfine and stuff, but I don't know. I'm sick of being told to calm down as a fan. I'm sick of being told to give the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's almost like we haven't had so many years of FSG's underwhelming transfer windows that all of a sudden we've forgotten. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little tradition here on Anfield Agenda that before any game starts, we like to try and get up to 1,000 likes. So if you can, if you have a second, please do hit that like button for us and get us there before the game kicks off. It is only pre-season, but we might as well start as we mean to go on. So if you have a second there, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, we'd love you to do that as well. You're very welcome along. Paul Gorse has reported that Jeremy Jacquet is a precaution that Liverpool are looking to get the defender up to speed. Makes sense, Paul. Makes sense. I think Lewis Steele reported something similar as well. Yeah, always better to err on the side of caution, particularly in pre-season. You know, but look, it would have been lovely to see him. I'm not saying that, but definitely don't want him to go out there if he's not feeling, you know, fully loose or fully comfortable. Swear All Day News has been saying Jacquet was starting. I haven't really seen much news around the game, to be honest, mate. Look, it is disappointing. We would have liked to have seen him, but, you know, we are where we are, I guess, at the minute with that one. Let's actually have a look through the Sunderland team. We haven't really talked about that too much yet. So, for Sunderland, it's Elberg, Bukele, Ballard, O'Neill, Mandava, Brown, Lefay, Hume, Rigg, Mundell and Isidore. That's the starting 11 for Sunderland. Liverpool's 11 obviously there on the screen. We will try to figure it out, but we think it's Mamardashvili, then back four, Frimpong, Gomez, Ndai and Costas, then Jones, McConnell and Elliott with Morrison, Rio Ngamoa and Will Wright. VI Jokers said, evening Craig, what a realistic aim this season if we don't get any of our transfer targets. If we don't get any of them, I mean, realistically, Champions League qualification or a push. I don't know, like, it's really hard to know, because what we also can't quantify is what other business other clubs are going to do and how much the World Cup will have an impact on other clubs' players coming back. And it's really difficult, because if you look at the Premier League this summer, so many clubs with new coaches. So you've got Manchester United in their first full season with Carrick. You've got obviously Alonso going into Chelsea, Maresca going into Man City, Liverpool with Andoni Iraola, Bournemouth obviously of Marco Rosa. You've got new coaches of Fulham. It's tough this season to figure it out. You know, do you go with the continuity of Arteta and Arsenal and make them as favourites, or do you go with the big spend of Manchester City and the fact that they were bringing in, you know, the likes of Elliot Anderson, they're pushing for Buwadi, they're also pushing, like, I kind of feel like Man City feel there might be a little bit of reprisal coming their way, or they might get a ban, or they might get something, and they're just trying to front load a lot of stuff now. And I want to remind everybody that that case for Manchester City finished in 2024. 2024. And here we are, as football fans, in 2026, still none the wiser of the outcome. That is a joke. It is a disgrace. And it again is embarrassment that football's in this position. So, Gomez is going to be captain in the Reds tonight. That one confirmed. What's this? So apparently Liverpool have a decent or significant sell-on clause, according to Empire of the Cop. If Diaz does move, apparently Liverpool have a sell-on clause on that one. Jeremy Frimpong, speaking about pre-season, said the managers came in, he's got new tactics. We all like what he's talking about. We can't wait to play for him. We like it so far. Training has been nice and fun. And there was a lot of journalists actually said, pay attention in pre-season. You'll see players talking about the fun being back in training and all this kind of stuff again. And there we are, right on schedule. Tom, love you too, bro. How are you? Craig, love you and the chat. Can't wait to see Iraola dominate. Appreciate you, Tom. Thank you, my man. Invis Chris said, even though the transfer window is as frustrating as slot ball, let's just get behind the manager and the players, as I think there are better times ahead. There are, but you know, these these are the times that we get to speak up, mate. Because when the window closes, there's nothing we can do. We have what we have until January at the earliest. So now is the time that I think we should be speaking up and being a little bit outspoken about it, because when the campaign gets underway, or when the window closes on September the 2nd, I think it is, we don't have any option to do anything else. So, I think it's perfectly reasonable for us to be demanding our owners actually do their damn jobs and give the manager the best chance to succeed. Tom, hey Craig, what's your score prediction? 3-1 for me. I don't have a clue, dude. Honestly, I don't even know how to go about predicting a preseason game. I'll tell you what, if we come out of it with no new injuries and a bit of excitement, that'll do me. If we were happy about what we've seen out there and the lads look like they're going to play a brand of football that we'll be looking forward to, I'll take that, Tom. Anders, hello. Hope you're good, my man. I'm all good, yeah. I'm all good, man. Looking forward to it. Excited. Toshkop, this is the best channel. Thank you so much, Craig. Mate, the channel is only what it is because of you guys and your amazing support. I have an easy job. I come on here, read out comments, have a bit of fun with you. But it's the community that make any YouTube channel. And speaking to other YouTubers over the years, they all say the same thing. People like to think that we just come on here to fleece people of money, or money's part of it, of course it is. But the honest connection that you find with people, you can't buy that. And truly, the people I've met over the years on here, some of them I've got to call friends for life now. It never doesn't hit me right in the feels like. So thank you. Appreciate you being here, and pleasure to have you in. But like I said, it's the community that makes it special. Fat Spicer said, big concern for Macca is he's not had a break for 4 years with club football, international, world clubs, Copa America. He's knackered. Yeah, fair points. Fair points. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add, but we are, I don't say we're lacking it, but we have a real brain drain or experience drain in the squad. And, Macca is one of the most senior players there now, and he's still, 28? So the idea of having him gone and bringing in another youngster, we do have to keep an eye on the experience levels within the squad as well. Virgil and Alisson, their contracts are up in a year. Robbo, Salah, Canade, all gone. So, we have to have lads step up as well. But I'm intrigued to see if Macca is here at the end of the summer or not. Eagerly awaiting to hear new chats for Iraola, said J-Mo. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was only thinking actually the other day, God, we need a load new songs, don't we? Because going back through all the older songs, for Gini Wijnaldum, Mohamed Salah, Andy Robertson, we're going to have to get a few new ones. Craig, any reason you don't double stream with Twitch? You'd make more money. I think we just want to give our audience the best product we can, and I feel like if I was streaming on multiple platforms at once, I wouldn't be able to be engaging as much as I would like to. And it isn't a money thing, really. Money, of course, is an important part of it, but making sure that we can do you guys justice is always forefront. Now, one thing I am considering is I might start live streaming the watch-alongs on TikTok via my phone during the season. I'm still playing around with the idea of that one, but no, we're happy here. We were on Twitch for a year. We signed an exclusive deal with Twitch a few years ago to go on there for 1 year. Enjoyed ourselves, but I've always felt like YouTube was our home, and I have some ambitions that I want to achieve here on YouTube. My dog's name is Mo Salah, so that song will always be sung in my house. Yeah, my dog's name's Harvey, and he was named after Harvey Elliott. So, yeah, I get it. I get it, mate. Roy, it's not my place, mate, to talk about CTE or postmortems or anything like that. I'm not qualified to give any type of opinion on it. You leave it to the medical professionals and those who know what they're talking about. I wouldn't have a clue, dude. Obviously, it's sad to hear of anything like that and any of these guys suffering like that. But I'm not qualified to talk about it. Is Xhaka injured? Not, I wouldn't say injured, felt something. And remember, he was coming back from the shoulder surgery as well. So the line is that it's precautionary. That's what the club have put out. Right. We're getting underway soon, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting times ahead. Pre-season about to get underway. Our first watch along in the new studio. Really excited to be here with you guys. Let me really quickly run through. It's Elborg, McKaylee, Ballard, O'Neill, Renildo, Lefay, Brown, Rigg, Hume, Mundell and Isidore. That's the 11 for Sunderland to start off. Do we have confirmation on who's wearing what colours actually in this one? Hey Craig, thank you again for last night. What you said means a lot, especially means a lot that I can do the watch along with you as I don't have LFC TV, and thank you for what you do. My absolute pleasure, Josh, and thank you for being with us, sir. Really appreciate your support. And the Liverpool 11, let me run through that again, is Georgie Mamadashvili, then it's Frimpong, Gomez, Ndai, Costas, Jones, McConnell, Elliott, then Engamo on the left, Morrison on the right, and Will Wright through the middle. So Liverpool are looking like Liverpool are going to be in the home shirts and Sunderland are going to be in pink shirts. And they're not very nice, those Sunderland shirts. They really aren't. Love this show. Love it made my drive to Kilkenny easy. Well, Jody, thank you. Appreciate you being with us, my friend. Thank you. Looking out for a good Irish man. Appreciate you. Ludwig says, it has started. Well, you might want to tell LFC TV that then, bro, because I'm watching it live on LFC TV, and if it started, they're a little bit behind, but they're in the tunnel here anyway. Paul said, Howard kit that. Yeah, it's rotten, isn't it? You know, I like a pink kit, by the way. I like the Inter Miami kits and whatnot, but yeah, that Sunderland one, not great. Certainly not a sellout anyway, isn't it? Looking around the stadium at the minute. Still looks like there's quite a few empty seats in and around. Score prediction, Craig. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to predict a preview or a pre-season game, mate. As I said earlier on, as long as we get no injuries, I'm happy with that. Whoever designed the pink Sunderland kit should be fired. Yeah, it's shocking. It isn't nice at all. It really isn't. But here we go. The lads are walking out now. First game of the Andoni Iraola era. Nice to be here with you all as well. Tremor in the house. Blobby Hayes, how are you? Nice to see you. Lovely part of the country. What time do we start? 11 is supposed to be, but you know, it is America, and I don't know what it is about America and kickoff times, but they never like things to go on schedule. There's always at least a 5 to 10 minute delay when football's on in America. So again, the question a lot of people ask is, where can we watch it? LFC TV in the UK and Ireland, also All Red, which is Liverpool's streaming platform. In the United States, it's on ESPN, one of the ESPN channels. That's all I know. You know, after that, I don't know where else it's on. Limerick in the house. Johnny, how are we, mate? Welcome in. Another beautiful city. Welcome in, bro. Xhaka is not there, mate. No, Xhaka was withdrawn with a precaution. That's the official line from the club. Right, just got to grab a quick drink. I'm on holiday in Iriola's old stomping ground of Bilbao. Nice, nice. I've always wanted to get over and check out Bilbao. Their stadium up on the hill looks absolutely beautiful. Craig, game is free on YouTube. Yeah, I can't promote fake or other things. I can't promote it. I'll get in trouble. Logan said, asking, hey mate, taking missus to her first match versus Monaco. Nice. So my missus went to her first Liverpool match. We lost and I've never brought her back again. True story, by the way. But I hope, you know, that's pre-season one, so you should be all right there. But enjoy and do let us know how you get on. Yes, Soboslai is on the bench, for those asking. I'll run through the bench for you in a second. Shout out to the mod, said Mad Denny. How are we, bro? Thank you as well. 31 months as a member, mate. So, yeah, let me run through the Liverpool bench for you again one more time just before we get underway. So, on the bench for the Reds today, which we should probably see in the second half, is Kirkes, Soboslai, Chiesa, Woodman, Abe, Neoni, Chambers, Ramsey, Scanlon, Kumas, Sonny Lambie, Ndweka, and Davies. That is the Liverpool bench. Lumo Edit said, I like this shirt. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Yeah, like this, the original one of this, the green and white one, is one of my favourite all-time Liverpool shirts, and I have it ready to go for the season upstairs. I want to just lose a little bit more weight, though, before I can squeeze into that one. Black hides it a bit better, you know. That meme guy said, don't care if we win or lose, Craig. Just want to see a better brand of football, unlike last season of slot, which was horrendous. Yeah. So if you ever see me hiccuping or anything, by the way, apologies on that one. It's one of the side effects that I've found with the Wegovy injection. A little bit of indigestion and hiccups occasionally. So apologies if you see me going or anything like that. It's not intentional. From the Marshall Islands. Hello, good sir. So you'll have to tell me where that is, George. I honestly don't know. Never heard of the Marshall Islands before. Somebody want to fill me in? Well, thank you. You've educated me today. Didn't even know it existed. Right, so we are going to get underway in a moment. I know we're a little bit delayed, but this is often the case with football over in the United States. Craig, who do you think will be the goalkeeper sub at half-time, Woodman or Davies? Woodman, I would imagine. You know, fresh off signing a new deal as well till 2029, Freddie Woodman. There's a round of applause now for the late great Kevin Keegan, who sadly passed away recently, age 75, after a battle with cancer. And of course, all of us thinking of Kevin Keegan and his family. They're not clapping for Kenny. Alex, they're clapping for Kevin. Can I give a shout out to all the Liverpool fans in Pakistan? It would be my pleasure, Surge Protector 56. Pakistan, Reds, how are we? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Hope you're having a lovely summer. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, I see a few Pakistan Reds in the chat. How are we, folks? Honestly, thank you for being with us. Welcome. And hope you enjoy the game as well. Appreciate your support. Will Wright is tall. He is, yeah, he is. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Will Wright. He's somebody I haven't actually got a chance to look at much. So, yeah, excited. Right, ladies and gents, we are about to get underway. Finally, we'll finally have a little bit of football to talk about. Marshall Islands are part of the Pacific. Where we got Pacific Islands in Oceania. Nice. Class. I've been educated today, Tiger Valley. Thank you. Right, so it'll be Sunderland kicking off. They'll be playing from left to right in their pink strip. Liverpool in our all red. And we are underway with the first watch-along of pre-season. Immediately, Sunderland launch the ball and do the decent thing. Launch it out long left side. Frimpong, bit of a slice clearance here. A little bit of a battle. You'll have to bear with me while I get the grips of some of the new names and numbers as well. But ball is back now with Georgi Mamardashvili. He's waiting. Drops the ball. Waiting for the press to come on. Good to get a look at Georgie, actually, because we all don't really know all that much about him. Seen a few bits and pieces of him, obviously, but not enough for me yet to make a decision on whether he's ready to step up into Alisson's shoes or not. So, long ball again from Sunderland. Costas heads the ball, but in the wrong direction. Georgie clears it, left-footed, obviously, up pitch. Just better get the grips of some of these numbers, actually. Good to have a look at Ndai as well. Big young lad. So, ball with Frimpong now. Press on from Sunderland. Goes back to Gomez, who's captaining Liverpool today. Joe launches the ball upfield. Chested down in the middle of the park by Sunderland centre-back. I think it's Ballard. Carried forward. Ball slipped in behind. Sunderland on the attack. Ball drilled across the front. Sliding challenge in from Ndai, and the ball goes out for a Sunderland throw-in on the far side. Chad, how are we? On the road to Wisconsin, going to enjoy the game. Just want to see some good football later. Much love, Chad, and safe travels to you and the family, sir. Right, throw-in coming here for Sunderland, right-hand side. They go short with it, actually. Ball's back. Cross in. It's deep. Flicked on. Elliott then finishes the clearance. It's been all Sunderland in the opening exchanges. Liverpool haven't even had a touch, really. It's been all Sunderland in these opening 2 minutes, but hopefully we settle into it. It's nice to see Iraola there. He's wearing navy. Oh, lads, they're trolling me now. I'm sure Liverpool managers are trolling me with navy tops on all the time. Again, Sunderland in possession inside their own half. Press comes on from Will Wright. Happy to just let the Sunderland keeper have it now. Eventually, Will Wright does go to press. Sunderland starts to try and play around it. Sunderland get in down the right-hand side here. A bit of space. Ball across the front of the 6-yard box, but thankfully straight into the arms of Georgi Mamadashvili. So I can see the chat. A lot of people saying they're having trouble logging into All Red. Not great form, that, is it, lads? You know, fans paying their money looking to watch the Reds and having issues. I hope it's resolved soon for you. Do let me know if you guys have any joy, though. Sorry to hear that you are having trouble logging in. And die now. Ball inside. Liverpool player fouled. It'll be a free kick. McConnell, I think it was it? It was brought down, yes. It was McConnell. The data says Navy's better. Yeah, but David, we can't believe the data anymore, mate, you know? The data's been shown up to be fraudulent at this point, David. Mary said, Craig, I said that about the Navy when I seen it come on before. I swear they're trolling me, Mary. I swear they are. Right. Gomez now in possession, carrying the ball forward for Liverpool. Goes out into the right channel then, where Jeremy Frimpong is ahead of him. Gomez, back to Frimpong. Jones spreads it across now to Ndai. To Costas. Little 1-2 at Rio, but Sunderland player steps in and wins the ball back. Sunderland have it now middle of the park. I don't like the idea of red and pink, by the way, being the two kick colours. Surely they could have made something a little bit more easy on the eye than pink and red. Charlie said, took our dad to see The Odyssey, brilliant movie, but said his favourite adaptation is Ulysses by Joyce. We wanted to send our regards for the season. Thank you, Charlie, and please do pass on our regards to your dad as well. I don't really know much about The Odyssey. Obviously, I know that it's a big IMAX thing at the minute, and it's a Christopher Nolan adaptation, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't even read Ulysses, to be honest. Connor said, finally onto the stupid website. Right. And Ndai again to Costas. Ball inside now to McConnell. Bit of space for him. He goes out to Rio. Rio manages to get the ball under control. Couple of Sunderland players come across. Still Rio down the left side. Cuts inside a bit. To Costas. Costas tries to go. Nah, he fails. Costas nutmegged the player, tried to go around the outside of him and just get little hands in the back of the Sunderland player who goes down, and the referee gives the free kick. Love your logo, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's so nice to actually have a big space now after, 8 years in the living room with a green screen. Everything that you see behind us here is real, which is it's still taking me a little bit of getting used to. Mustard Pop Productions, thank you, mate, for gifting a membership. Really, really kind of you, sir. Again, Sunderland with the ball at the back with the keeper. Will Wright goes to press the goalkeeper, who was hurried into a clearance, but Will Wright left a little bit on him, and the ref blows it up for a free kick. Nothing wrong with that, Will. Let the keeper know you're there. So, while we're waiting for the game to spring into life, here's one for you. Do you guys think we get Barcola this summer? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Or maybe we can get a poll. Maybe we get a poll going. That's an easier way, isn't it? So, will we sign Barcola this summer? Yes or no? Poll question in the chat. Have a vote on it. And we'll see what you guys say. No, Munoz isn't back yet, mate. No, he's still on holiday. Gomez is down already. Oh, Gomez is down already. Oh, lads, I don't know what to say. And this is the guy, by the way, this is the guy that's supposed to be the backup for the season ahead. First 7 minutes of pre-season and Gomez is down already. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Can we please stop deluding ourselves that Joe was going to be able to be back up for the whole season and be ready? You know, we're 7-8 minutes into pre-season now, and that's already been put to bed. The idea of Joe Gomez being able to get through a season. And again, last season of his Liverpool contract as well. So we are going to see the youngster, the young Austrian that we brought in. Cousin across the pond. How are we feeling about this new season? I'm a little bit worried, Aaron. I'm a little bit worried because of the lack of the recruitment. I'm optimistic, obviously, because I rate Iraola as a coach. And I do expect the players that we brought in last year to step up as well. But yeah, this isn't the start of pre-season that we wanted to see. Joe Gomez, who's captain in Liverpool today, having to go off 7-8 minutes in. But, you know, Liverpool don't need a centre-back according to all the top-tier journalists out there. Well done, lads. Keep fighting the good fight and blowing smoke up FSG's arse while the rest of us lose our goddamn minds waiting to see transfers. Well, here we go. Ndweke, new signing that we brought in. New young centre-back from Austria. So, before this game kicked off today, we had a setback with Xhaka, who felt something, and now we've got Gomez out. Brilliant. Look, good experience for Ndweke, but again, gives some headaches now. Arna's still here, said Itachi. I don't know, mate. You couldn't make it up here. You couldn't make it up. Like, obviously, your heart goes out to Joe as well. Joe's not going to want to have to go off the pitch or anything, but my God. This is what I'm saying. Like, any myth or delusional behaviour that thinks that this small squad that's already too small is going to be able to deal with 4 competitions, it's just crazy talk. Right, throw into Liverpool anyway, right side. Elliott goes across to try and take it quickly. Wasn't on though, so we wait for Jeremy Frimpong. Back to Ndweke, across to Ndai. 2 young centre-backs now for the Reds. Good to see them though, good to get a look at them. Curtis Jones. To Frimpong. Back to Ndai. He goes out to Frimpong. Jones. Curtis fires a diag out left side looking for Rio, but it was never on. Sunderland mop it up, have it in midfield. Just asking for a friend, but can anybody in the chat play centre-back? Just asking for a friend. And that friend isn't Richard Hughes. He's busy with Al Halal stuff. Looking great, Craig. Cheers to you, mate. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. I was saying earlier on, I'm now £35 down, but plenty more to go. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Oh, we have a taker. Road Rash can play centre back. There you go, mate. Get your boots. Get your boots. You're off to the United States. We need you. So again, I know there's a lot of frustrated people in the chat looking to watch. It's All Red and LFC TV if you're in the UK and Ireland, and I think in the United States it's on ESPN. But other than that, I don't know where else you can watch the game. Morrison, goal. 1-0. Morrison cuts inside. First goal of pre-season. Young Kieran Morrison. Well done, young man. 1-0 to the Reds. Lovely. Delighted for him. Well in, Morrison. Right. So ball's played out. McConnell plays the ball through to midfield to Rio. Rio central. Gets his head up. Plays it out to Morrison. Or Elliott, excuse me. Elliott then back into Morrison. Morrison cuts in on his left foot and just places it. Doesn't even have to put the boot through it. Just picks out the far corner, inside of the foot. Just rolls it into the corner. Lovely goal from back to front and into the back of the net in the blink of an eye. And Liverpool 1-0 up. Well in. Nice. Lovely moment as well for young Kieran Morrison. There you go. We'll take that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take that. He has to be going down to tell the boss he needs help at ESG Soccer. If you're in the US, YTTV has a free week of ESPN. There you go. There you go. Bransfield said, hey, Craig, good to be back. Sending love to the fam and you and your family as well, my man, over in Sweden. Hope your dad and yourself are well. Yeah, tidy little finish there from Morrison. Delighted for him. Ben said, hey, Craig, do you think we'll bring in Zabarani this summer? It could be our centre-back backup rotation, the Xhaka. It's certainly a realistic option. You know, Andoni Iraola knows him well. I think he's sellable. I think PSG would be open to it. But again, if you look at what PSG paid Bournemouth, I think it was like 58 million quid or something like that. So I don't really... If it's those type of numbers, I can't see Liverpool entertaining it unless it's maybe a loan with an option or an obligation or a significant reduction. Mark said graphic on the preseason says Anfield. Who cares, Mark? Like, honestly, who cares? Like, it's not that important. But we know what to do, Mark. You know, in these situations, you know who to blame. It's Crosby. Always Connor's fault. If, you know, even if it's me, it's him. But it's Anfield, North America, Mark, you see. We're thinking, bro. What happened to Joe Gomez? Football, unfortunately. Yeah, free kick here to Sunderland. We don't actually know the extent of it. He just sat down in the pitch and went off and got replaced. Where's the top from? Bought it from the club site. Yeah, it was part of the throwback range the club brought out around the 1996 green and white shirt. This was one of the limited edition all black ones. Who assisted the goal? It would have been Elliott. Harvey Elliott slipped it into him before Morrison cut inside. Right, so free kick here to Sunderland. Liverpool with just a two-man wall. It's in a very shootable position. It's right-hand side, about 5-6 yards outside the penalty area. Kind of halfway between the D at the edge of the box and the corner of the 18-yard box. More suited to a left footer, but let's wait and see. Georgie giving him quite a lot of the left side of the goal. Sunderland move it, strike, blocked by Liverpool. Elliott it was who got out and got the block in. Iraola and his coach is now urging Liverpool to push out and get forward. Push up and hold that high line. Sunderland in possession. Ball slipped in again. And Ndweke does well. Calm, composed. Gives it to McConnell. McConnell out right-hand side now to Jeremy Frimpong. So I hope this isn't a serious injury for Joe, because he either has to sign a new deal, get sold this summer, or he leaves for free in a year. So again, we're just causing ourselves more and more problems as a club. Costas and Dai, again, brave, but gives the ball away. He was trying to take on a few players. Eventually, though, goes behind for a Liverpool goal kick. Fat Spicer said, Morrison's name begins with Mo. Is it a sign? No. Don't you be doing that to me, mate. No, don't you be doing that. Victor said, I want to be the 5th choice goalkeeper and living a life. Yeah, why not? Do you know what, though? It actually takes a lot. You know, I'm for a 3rd choice keeper like Woodman, you never know if you're going to get a chance. So he's got to be on it all the time, and he's got to be helping out the other keepers. But it's, I'm delighted for him. Honestly, he seems like such a good character, Freddie Woodman. Somebody in the chat saying Yandy Amonde agrees personal terms at Real Madrid. Yandy Amonde has been agreeing personal terms with everybody. I mean, I might put a call in and ask him will he come and play for my local team here, just because he seems to be agreeing. Oh yeah, I'll sign for you. I'll sign for everybody. But the problem is nobody as of yet has gotten an agreement with Leipzig. Right, Sunderland looking to play the ball through the lines. Look at that. Look how high up there. Look at that from Ndweke. See how much he came forward. That is the aggressive defending that you're going to see from Iraola, and that was a good example of it. So the ball was played into midfield, and Ndweke was inside the opposition half already defending. Love that. When did Elliott rejoin Liverpool? He was only on loan, mate. He was on loan with an obligation if he played 10 or more games for Villa. He didn't play those amount of games, so he came back to Liverpool. And again, the problem, unfortunately, we have there as well is he's got 1 year to go on his deal. Costas. Out left side to Rio. Rio immediately wants to go on after. Ballard just cleans him out. That's shocking, mate, in pre-season. Ballard gets a yellow. Imagine doing that in pre-season to a young 18-year-old lad who just did you for pace. The state of that from Ballard. Can't deal with Rio, so he just steps across and blocks him out. That Rio had him on toast. Look, petrifying him. Dirty for pre-season. Yeah, it's shocking. No need for it, but it's a good sign. It shows that Rio's in their head. Right. Curtis Jones over this free kick for Liverpool. Surely with the amount of empty seats inside the stadium, this must tell the promoters behind this tour that they're just charging too much money for tickets. Right, here we go. Jones over the free kick, which he overhits, and it goes straight behind for a goal kick. Jack, it was Kieran Morrison, mate. Kieran Morrison who scored for Liverpool, bro. Very good goal as well. Cut inside onto his left foot and kind of passed it into the far corner. Really good. And Liverpool went from back to front in 3 or 4 passes in the space of 10 seconds. Is there much improvement from slot ball? Well, there's more energy, but look, it's really early days. We're only 20 minutes into pre-season, but the first sign that I would point out to everybody is Ndweke there and how advanced he was. And there's Ndai, look, our other centre-back. Look how high up the pitch he is, getting back into position. So the aggressiveness of our defending from our centre-backs here is the first thing that jumps out to me under this style of football with Iraola. Quite how much they're trying to condense that pitch again. And it is quite aggressive defending. If you look at that and contrast it to the type of defending Virgil and Canade were asked to do under Slot, it was dropping a lot deeper, backing off. But the aggressiveness of our centre-backs here is very interesting. When is Hugo returning? He's not expected to be back until probably, I want to say in and around Christmas time, somewhere like that. Now, I don't want to give you a hard and fast date on it, but I think it's somewhere in and around that time. A bit panicky there from Ndweke. He tried to pick out a ball to Jeremy Frimpong, but it goes out and it's a Sunderland throw-in far side. Craig, we can't see if we're watching you because we can watch it live. Okay, I'll do my best to keep you up to date, my man. Sunderland with Ballard in possession. So if you are joining us a bit late, Ballard's on a yellow already for Sunderland for a bit of a shithouse challenge on Rio. Also, Liverpool's goal scored by Kieran Morrison, cutting in off the right-hand side and passed it into the corner with a lovely finish. Assist from Harvey Elliott, and it was the saying a moment ago, Liverpool went from back to front really quickly. The aggressiveness, though, of the way we're playing is something that I'm noticing straight off the bat here, particularly our centre-backs following their players into the opposition half. Will it be a full change at half-time? I expect so, yeah. I do think you'll see two different 11s, all right. Is your LFC TV working? The LFC TV, yes. I'm watching it on Sky. On I don't know what number channel it is, but I'm not streaming it. I'm watching it through Sky Q. Ball in behind again, looking for Rio. I think people, did I see somebody in the chat say tickets were $120 or something like that for this one? Look, without having a full understanding of it, I don't think it's Liverpool that set the prices for these games. I'm open to being wrong on this, but I believe it's a promoter that has a set way of money and says to Liverpool, we'll give you X amount for this game or that game. But they've obviously got the price structure wrong here because those amount of empty seats, I don't like seeing it. I'd much rather young kids, schools, anything, young local academies were given tickets to go and see it. AJ down already? Really? No. What's this one? LFC TV is blackout in the States using a VPN and sell it to the UK. There you go. Also, and if you are, make sure it's Surfshark, of course, sponsors of us. Right, Sunderland in possession. Ball through the lines. Press comes on. Sunderland play around it. Jones giving out. Jones not happy. He was giving an earful to Will Wright there. Telling Will Wright you should be working harder off the ball. That was very interesting to see from Curtis. Costas now. He plays it forward, but it's straight to a Sunderland player. Sunderland in possession on this near side. Again, here comes a cross in field. Jones does well to get back in and then Ndai is fouled. He's gone down holding his left ankle. Hopefully he's okay. The last thing we could do here is another centre-back injury after Gomez going off. Right, where are we at? This one from Leach. Hey Craig, hope you're well. I'm ready for this season, but of course won't see what we truly can do until the World Cup lads are back. Yeah, I'm excited just to see, you know, an exciting brand of football again, Mr. Leach. And thank you, bro, for 35 months with us. Is heavy metal football back yet? It's definitely on the way to being back. But again, remember, it is pre-season. They are still building up the fitness as well. Bonus, no getting forward than passing back. Yes, absolutely, Richard. Why Barcola? Give Rio a chance. Barcola won't be coming in to take Rio's place. One of them will be going across to the right-hand side. So, nobody's undermining Rio. We just need another winger, and there isn't really many options out there on the right side in the market at the minute, so hence Barcola's been linked so much. But it was interesting as well hearing Rio, who's on the ball now. Hang on, a couple of step overs from Rio, waiting for support, goes inside, still Rio. Picks out a pass to Frimpong. It was interesting hearing Rio say during the week as well that he enjoys playing off both sides, and he's been getting in some minutes and some practice coming in off the right-hand side as well. Costas. Arthur said, hey Craig, didn't expect you on. What time is it in Ireland? It's, what time is it now? It's just after 11:30, 11:36. I'll even be doing the next game. It's a 12:30 kickoff here in Ireland. I'll be covering that one as well. Oh, great goal from Sunderland, 1-1. 1-1. It's a lovely strike from, I think it's Lefay, or Lebris, excuse me. Top corner. I want to see it from behind the goal before I say anything about the keeper, but McConnell loses the ball in the Sunderland half, and then it's one ball out to the right-hand side from Sunderland. They cut inside. A runner distracts. That's just a great strike. I've no complaints. I'm not going to have a pop at Georgie. That is just an outstanding strike. Yeah, it's top bins. That's just a wonderful strike. Yeah, there's no blaming anybody there on that from a goalkeeping perspective, but McConnell it was dispossessed in the opposition half, and then 2 passes later, Sunderland are in, the ball's in the back of the net, and it's 1-1. And what a strike. Honestly, just if you haven't seen the goal, you see it back. It is honestly a thing of beauty of a strike. CPG KTU said, call me crazy, but isn't it mad that FSG own Liverpool and yet we're not playing in any preseason games in Boston when FSG literally own the Red Sox? Yeah, look, I don't know what to say about it. I don't like FSG very much, so I'm more interested in FSG putting their hands in their pockets and backing the manager. But 29 minutes in, ladies and gents, it is Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. Elliott now. Back to Ndai and crossed it in Ndweke, who came on as an early substitute for Joe Gomez. I see chat telling me AJ won. Nice. Sweet. Cheers. Appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the heads up. Oh, did AJ really get knocked down, did he? Oh, that's not a good look. But at least he got up and won. Tipsy Dipsy said, hi mate, had a nice break from football, needed a detox from last season. Feels weird not hearing Harvey in the background. Love Andoni's work ethic. It's it's weird just getting used to so many new young players out there as well as getting used to obviously the style under Andoni, but so far certainly more energy, more aggression than we've seen under Arna, but it is really early days in pre-season. Richard said no hydration breaks. Thank goodness. I never want to see hydration breaks again unless, the temperature dictates it. He got knocked down twice. Oh my days. Wow. He knocked down twice in the first round. Oh my days. That's nuts. Oh my God. Wow. Tony said, Craig, what are your thoughts on Klopp's comments at the presser the other day? Sorry if you spoke on this directly. So which comments are you talking about? I think it's either going to be that this is the pinnacle of his career, in which case I have no problem with him saying that one. It's, it's his country, as he's very proud German, or the stuff about press intrusion and his family and whatnot. Sorry, almost a second Sunderland goal there, by the way. Everybody stopped as if they were expecting the referee to blow up for a foul. He didn't, and Liverpool got a couple of blocks in. But yeah, I mean, if it was about the family intrusions, yeah, good. Good to see him make a stand against, an overreach that he might see from the media. But look, I'm just glad Kloppo's back in football. I think football's a better place for having Kloppo involved in it. Why in the world would we bring Costas back? Because we're cheap. That's the answer, because FSG are cheap. And they tried to convince us that letting rid of Andy Robertson go and bringing back Costas, who we tried to sell, is somehow okay. And that we're supposed to believe that Costas is going to be a good enough deputy to Milos Kerkez. Oh, and here's the kicker. His contract's up in a year, so we'll probably either let him go for free next year or he'll get an extension to stay at Liverpool. Either way, piss take. Absolute piss take of a situation that yet again some people are happy with, and I don't understand it. I never understand how people think that the way FSG do things is acceptable. It's nowhere near acceptable for a club of our size to be constantly having to scrape around. One summer we got a decent window, and even then, as I said, Arsenal had a bigger net spend. Probably been said a million times, but I'd love to see Harvey back. Feel like he got totally shafted last year. Hope he's a big role. He won't. I don't think he will have a big role. From what I'm seeing and from what people have been saying, this is shop window territory for Elliott because, oh, hang on, Sunderland in again down the right. Goes down looking for a penalty. Ref's not having it. And Ndweke did well enough there, according to the ref. Anyway, to get back to Harvey, yeah, I think he gets sold. I agree with you, by the way. I'd keep Harvey around, but his contract situation means that if Liverpool don't sell him this summer or extend him, he leaves for free in a year because, our data-led recruitment team apparently don't look at the numbers next to the players' contracts to see how many fucking years they have left. Evan said, any transfer news ain't looking good. Not really, Evan, my man, no, unfortunately. Oh, look, somebody's making fat jokes in the chat. Well done, mate. Did you think up all them fat jokes all on your own? Double chin, no neck, yeah. But nearly 400,000 subscribers, motherfucker. And 6,000 people watching right now. How's that? Better than having no balls, isn't it? Woo! You're not going to get me, dude. I'm in a good mood. And I've already lost 35 pounds, so I'm on the way. And I can make myself unfat. Can you make yourself not an asshole? Bigger challenge, that one. I look forward to the slap that life will give you in the face at some point. Karma's a bitch. FSG is great compared to the previous one we had. But why is that? Why is that the level, though? Why is that the level? We compare them to the worst we had, and that's somehow the level. FSG have been okay, and I've always given them credit for the good stuff. But come on, you can't say they haven't shafted manager after manager in the transfer market with a lack of signings. Come on now. That's like saying, oh, well, me mate's done the dirt on his girlfriend, but he didn't kill her. So isn't that great? No, that shouldn't be the standard. This is, because if you want to go down that route, well, they've also made a lot of money, haven't they? They bought the club for 300 million and now it's valued at about £4.5 billion or $6 billion. So they're going to be well looked after when they sell up and leave. But in the meantime, I'd like them to be, doing their part, which is making sure that we have a team on the pitch that can go out there and win the league. Last season we spent loads, yeah, but we were still outspent by Arsenal, net spend. You keep forgetting that. You can't just look at the 450 million, mate. You have to look at the 300 million we brought back in, and then look at the 9 years since that, and look at the net spend each month or each window. Our net spend is about 45 million quid a season under FSG. It's been nowhere near good enough. But keep drinking the Kool-Aid, keep taking the soup, and keep buying the nonsense that they feed you. And then watch Chelsea and other clubs go out there and continue to keep spending, while John W. Henry and FSG have codded everybody into the ability that Liverpool haven't got the ability to spend money. They choose not to spend money. They choose. It's a choice because they want to run the club and they don't want to put any of their own money into it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. And I think I'm perfectly right to call it out, because are you happy with the window? And even last year, they didn't finish the job, did they? They never got the centre back in that we needed all season. And how did that season go for us in the end? Right, Sunderland looking to play the ball out. Jones comes on to press, but fouls. And that'll be a Sunderland free kick. Monkey said, any news, Arsenal buying everyone for 37p. Yeah, but it's okay though, because we're monitoring people. So, we're good. We're monitoring. So, we're working on Bradley Barcola for the last 3 months. Elk said, whoever said VPN for all red, thank you. ESPN was being and wouldn't let me buy, so I signed up for Surfshark. Can now watch. Love that. Love that, Elks. Picking the best as well with Surfshark, mate. Well in. Juki said, I guess Diamande is just out of green personal terms with everybody. He's out there twerking his little backside, isn't he? He's out there going, oh, I'm going to have me some of this Real Madrid, going to have me some of this Bayern Munich, going to have me a little bit of this Liverpool. Yeah, he's just out there, twerking it up, isn't he? Oh yeah, I'll sign for everybody, me. Just put the contract down. Send me location. But yeah, again, everybody, like 50,000 clubs have agreed a compensation package with the player, but nobody's been able to get a deal done yet with Leipzig, so that's the big stumbling block. If Bezos buys shares, games on Amazon Prime, no, because the Premier League still have their advertising, or still have their deals with Sky, BT, and whatnot. Now, of course, Prime does do some games, but you would imagine if he does get involved at some point, there will be some tie-overs into his existing businesses. You would imagine so. Right, Morrison again cuts inside. Ball to Elliott. Elliott gets it out of his feet. Head up, rolls it across to Ndai, to Costas now. Out to young Rio. Again, oh, lovely ball in, McConnell. Ball across. Oh, Sunderland defended, and there was a foul in there. I think there was a collision with Ballard, I think, and it'll be a Sunderland free kick out. Uh, 195 Christ, I said, I'm struggling to see how Elliott and Chimicus are going to make a difference this season. And with all due respect, those who think we have enough coverage at centre back are freaking morons. Elliott, I don't mind keeping around. Obviously, I don't. But again, I think he'll be sold. The Costas one really baffles me, though. Because we had Andy Robertson, and we let Costas go to Roma. And Costas couldn't do well enough at Roma to even really get into the team or to interest them in buying him. So then all of a sudden, Robbo contract is up and he goes and joins Spurs. And we're left with a lower tier option as a step forward as a replacement. Make that make sense. It's crazy. I don't know what these lads have done to hoodwink so many people to think that they aren't doing the bare minimum. But yeah, for me, I don't support FSG. I don't care about who owns the club. I support the manager. I support the coaches. I support the players. They're the ones I want to see succeed. FSG will make their money when they sell up, and fair play to them. But in the meantime, they have a duty to give the manager the best chance. I'd rather we sell Costas now, got whatever we could get. I don't know a number, let's say 8 million. Go and get another left back, or put that 8 million towards somebody like a Nico Williams or Jed Spence, who can cover both fullback positions. Something sensible with some longevity in the future to it. Because again, I can only keep reiterating this. 11 players are out of contract next summer, including our captain, our goalkeeper, Curtis Jones, Costas, Elliott, Bajcetic, Ramsey, all out of contract in a year's time. Love Rio, but he's looked poor and needs to release the ball quicker. I agree. He's been taking too much out of the ball, and he's been looking to force it a little bit too much. And that is, look, we have to expect this with Rio. He's a young player. He won't be the finished article. There will be things he needs to work on. His work off the ball as well, on his defensive side, he'll have to improve on. But, you know, a really exciting talent nonetheless. George said, do the bare amount to keep fans content while not spending much. Exactly, mate. And the funny thing is, their little phrase they love to use is that we want to under promise and over deliver. I mean, you couldn't make that up. Harv said, loving the new setup. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. It's been a journey to get here. There's so much of the studio that you guys can't even see, but yeah, it's lovely to have the space, and very proud to be here. Right. Ball back with Ndweke, who came on. If you're joining us late, Ndweke came on for Joe Gomez after just 8 minutes. And Jeremy Jacquet, he felt something, and Liverpool, as a precaution, decided to not have him involved today. So centre-backs definitely looking live for us. We have 2 young centre-backs on right now. The youngster Ndweke that we brought in from Austria, and then Ndai is the other young centre-back alongside him. Who's the captain? It's now Costas. It was Gomez, but after he went off, it was Costas. But again, there'll be a lot of changes at half-time, and I fully expect Dom to have the armband second half. Right, we're at 44 minutes now on the clock. You can't imagine there'll be much stoppage time we're at the end of a pre-season friendly game, first half. This is slot ball. I see nothing to indicate any change. Just say you don't understand football and we can move on from that, mate. Because if you don't see any differences yet, I don't know what to say to you. But I've pointed out 3 so far, including the centre-backs being a lot more aggressive and further up the pitch, and how quickly we're transitioning from back to front. But if you don't see a difference in the first 45 minutes of pre-season to your satisfaction, then I suggest you write a letter strongly condemning it. Or chill the fuck out, one or the other. We miss Salah. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. And, you know, apart from that, like I said, we ripped up his deal, let him go, and these geniuses haven't replaced him yet. They're happy to get the 400 grand a week off the books, but they haven't actually replaced him yet. So, half-time, ladies and gentlemen. And at half-time it is Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. Wonderful Sunderland equaliser, by the way, after Kieran Morrison had given Liverpool the lead. Where are we at? Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. If Bezos does buy shares, then all the fans from other clubs using Amazon will indirectly be giving money to our club. Look, I don't know how it all pans out with regards to the consortium who are looking to buy somewhere between 8 and 30%. But, you know, we'll wait and see what happens. What I will say is it won't be completed during this window, and it won't give us any extra funds to do anything now. Ndweke, we have a gem on our hands. I think both the young centre-backs look quite promising in that first half. Ndweke and, of course, Ndai as well. But it is half-time, so again, let's give you a reminder of who is available on the bench for Liverpool. So there's Kirkes, Soboslai, Chiesa, Woodman, Abe, Neoni, Chambers, Ramsey, Scanlon, Kumas, Sonny Lambie and Harvey Davies. They are the Liverpool options on the bench, and I'm sure you will see a lot of these guys in the second half. Connor said, literally a team of teenagers, 1 week in the pre-season and people expecting us to be free-flowing and perfect. It's essentially a training session. I know, it's mad. But even at that, Connor, you can see a difference. You can see some more aggression, particularly at the centre-backs. Like I said, they're a lot higher up. They're a lot more aggressive. They're following people into the opposition half. But yeah, there's like a long road ahead. And it's only the start of pre-season. Honestly, I don't care if we lose every game in pre-season. Give me losing every game and not having a single injury than winning them all and, not showing up against Newcastle. It's about getting ready for the start of the season and, just enjoy the journey. At least we now have some football to talk about and not just hypotheticals. I do think the two centre halves will be great this coming season, said Lightfoot. The centre-back look good, and Ndweke is a baller. Yeah, they're very promising from both of them. And, good to see. Hello, just Aiden, said, been ages since watching Soboslai. Hopefully he gets a goal. Yeah, I'm buzzing to see Dom as well. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing Dom. I can't wait till all the lads are back. Like, I'm really, really looking forward to those Monaco and Como games. Chimicus and Frimpong look concerning. So, yes, look, there's no way of getting away from this. Costas isn't up to the job at left back. He just isn't. And I don't say that, I don't mean to be rude, because he seems like an absolutely top fella. Lovely guy, always upbeat. But, we're here to play football. And he's just not at the level. And with Frimpong, look, I guess on the right-hand side, we are somewhat limited in options now. We may see Ramsey, second half. That'll be interesting to get a look at him. But he isn't the right back, and you're right. I said when we signed Jeremy Frimpong, I don't know why we signed him, and it isn't because I don't rate him as a footballer, but to us, what is he? He wasn't a Trent replacement. He's more of a wing back. We don't play with wing backs. So I never really understood that other than a utility player at a good price. That's it. Really like him. Love Frimpong. But, ultimately, what is he to us? Where are we going to utilise him? Yeah, bring back Arna. Way better football. Definitely. Totally agree with you, mate. You should hire a plane and fly it over Anfield for the Monaco and Como games just to say just that. You'll get loads of people chipping in for it. Don't worry. Rio was great, but needs to release earlier. That's fair. I think that is fair. But again, we have to temper our expectations here, folks, somewhat as well. It is pre-season. Tommy Turner said Lewis Hall or Livramento. I think they're both top-notch players. I really, really do. The problem I think we'd have with Lewis Hall is you're not going to bring him in to... did I miss your super chat, mate? Apologies, I'll get to it in 2 seconds. You're not going to be able to tempt in Hall if you have somebody like, let's say, Milos Kirkes there, and he's young, and he's the guy. But Livramento, I'd be all over Tino Livramento. But I think, Man City have been sniffing around him for a bit, so I don't know if anything happens there. But, they're two very good players that you've mentioned. On this one, my apologies for missing it initially, sir. I'm worried. Slot's first window, where we only signed Chiesa, feels so much like this. Munoz being the opportunistic signing. Yeah, and that's cool. Like, the opportunistic signing is cool, but again, we're down on numbers from last season, so they can't let Salah go and not replace him, and I mean not replace him properly. Like, they can't spin that story. And after that, they've already openly said we need a right back. We know we're short at centre back, so I don't know what else to say. I don't think any of us disagree that we need players, but right now, we're just frustrated, aren't we? Lucas said McConnell being solid. I've always rated James McConnell as a player. Always thought he was a good young player. I'm looking forward to seeing Neoni as well. Right, where are we at? Let me just finish off this poll. So we asked, will we sign Bradley Barcola this summer? Wow. Not feeling overly optimistic on this one, folks. 56% of the over 5,500 votes have said no. There you go. I'm probably more yes than no, but I'm not convinced 100% by any stretch. I don't know, maybe I am being a little bit too optimistic there and thinking that surely they get this one done. But I don't know. I understand the frustrations. I totally get it. Jay, how are you, bro? Said, what's your thoughts on Calvin Ramsey? Is he good enough for some playing time this season? Is he good enough for some playing time? Maybe. But the big problem, Jay, I have there is, again, he's got 1 year to go on his contract. So if you use him this season, he walks out the door for free next year unless you renew him on a deal. So don't know what to expect. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a loan with a new deal signed before he goes out on loan. But we'll get a good look at him second half, Jay. So we'll probably have a better, a better understanding at that point. Dylan said, I'd say we won't get Barcola due to Diamande going to Madrid. I don't think PSG will sell. If they don't sell, though, they're walking themselves into a tricky situation, because what PSG couldn't do is turn around to Barcola and say, we always loved you, bro. You're the one that we wanted. Never mind that we signed Akliouche. Never mind we tried to sign Diamande. You're the one we wanted. Because he also is in an interesting contractual situation. 2 years to go on his deal now, and this is the selling time. If you're going to sell somebody and keep the peak value, no later than 2 years to go is when you do it. And if you don't do that, you're walking a tightrope, because then the player either gets into the last year of his deal and you get a lot less money, or you're banking on a contract extension. And honestly, if you're Bradley Barcola right now, look at the big games that PSG played. He's been on the bench. Champions League finals, semi-finals, not been starting them. And on top of that, they've obviously brought in more people. So it's not like he's got older players ahead of him too much. He's got Desiree Doué on the right-hand side ahead of him, and he's younger. On the left-hand side, obviously, you've got Kavisha Kvaratskhelia. You've got Ousmane Dembele. They're looking to bring in another striker. They're going to bring in Akliouche. I think it's a hard sell to him to say, with a good conscience, yeah, you're the guy. Because they haven't had any new conversations around the deal since, I think it was reported as April, something like that, since the last conversations with Barcola and PSG about an extension. And they haven't been rushing to get it sorted since. What do you think of Vinicius Jr. to Arsenal for that price tag? I don't believe it, is the honest answer, Jack. Will they give him 600 grand a week? I doubt it. I'm of the camp that thinks Vinicius Jr. doesn't want to go anywhere. I think he wants to stay at Real Madrid, and he's just trying to force the contractual situation and get himself a new deal. But again, it has to be resolved one way or the other this summer, doesn't it? Because if not, you've got, since Mbappe, probably the most in-demand free transfer in world football coming up come January, which would be crazy. Shin said, love this. It's a training match. Slot us out. Thanks. Yep. I will take all of that. This one from Ray Kicks Ball said, I keep expecting more from Rio, thinking he's struggling off the ball, and then I remember he's only 17. Feels like such a staple in the squad now. Yeah, we have to be understanding. And this is why I keep saying I don't want young players to be the heroes. I don't want us to look at Rio and think this needs to be the guy that makes the difference for us this season. I think we should be looking at him as a bonus that will be an important part of the squad, but without that pressure. And that's why I'm so adamant we need to get in a top-notch winger, because we all believe in Rio. We all know Rio is going to become a huge, huge success for us. But as you've rightly said, Roy, Ray, excuse me, mate, he does have some stuff he needs to work on, as he should, as a youngster. You know, he shouldn't be the finished article. So that's why I keep saying, let these youngsters come through at a natural pace. Develop them at a natural time. Don't be throwing them in having to be the hero when we're down bodies or the owners are too cheap to go and bring players in. I don't want Rio burned out when he's 25 or 26. I don't want them picking up hamstring injuries and losing that explosiveness, turning into Saka 2.0. So that's why we need this depth. We have to, because we have to think long term as well and let Rio develop at a realistic pace. Could the Gomez injury be contrived as a reminder to the owners? No, because Joe himself is in an interesting situation where he either leaves for free in a year, gets a new deal, or gets sold this summer. So it's not in Gomez's interest whatsoever to, walk off the pitch after 8 minutes. But again, it's a reminder, though, that we can't rely on people that have an injury or a record of injuries to be bulletproof for the season. Like, this is what we have at centre-back. Without any argument, this is what we have. A 35-year-old captain who played every minute of last season in the league, came off the World Cup, and we were blessed. But we've got no cover for him. Then we have a young centre-back who's coming back from an ACL, and we all know that coming back from an ACL, a lot of players say it takes minimum 6 months to get used to your body again, to trust it. And he hasn't kicked a ball in the Premier League yet. Then we've got Jeremy Jacquet, another young centre-back who hasn't kicked a ball in the Premier League, who's coming off the back of a shoulder injury, and Joe Gomez. Now, in what world are those four going to be able to cover Premier League games, Champions League games, League Cup and FA Cup without an injury happening to any of them? Or maybe a little bit of form for new players coming in to settle into a league. This is why I'm adamant that we have to call out the owners and their lack of spending. Because bare minimum is not going to do. It's a demanding season. It's a demanding schedule. You need big squads. And we need experience. I think Schlotterbeck should be a no-brainer. I know he has an injury, but I'd still try and get him through a medical if you could. We need to have Virgil's long-term successor set up rather than scrambling around next summer when everyone knows we'll be desperate. We'll be desperate or we'll end up overpaying to keep him. Matthew, how are you, bro? From Perth, Western Australia, starting to stress with transfers. God help us if we don't move for somebody now. What the F you doing, FSG? I don't know. That's the honest answer, mate. Let me read out this to you again, just so you don't think I'm making it up. This was posted earlier on from Sasha Tavolieri, a journalist from Belgium, who said, Al Hilal continue to explore the market for attacking players. In the Luis Diaz case, you'll love this, Richard Hughes, our sporting director, Richard Hughes, is leading the negotiations. The Saudi club is ready to convince the Colombians camp with a salary worth €25 million per season. It's important to clarify that Al Hilal are not in talks with Bayern Munich and will only enter into negotiations once they reach an agreement with the player. The fuck is our sporting director involved in this deal? He shouldn't have time, let alone be doing it, because it's not Liverpool related. What is he doing now? What is he doing for us? What is he doing in this window? How is he still employed? This is insanity. So we've got 11 players out of contract in a year. We don't have a deep enough squad now. We've got players that need to sort out their futures with loans or moves away. We've got a new manager in the door. It's crazy. Lucid Masonry said, I'm still relaxed over transfers. We've always been pretty good about keeping deals quiet. It's very easy to keep no deals quiet. I'm not trying to be a smart arse, but this isn't about keeping them quiet. This is just about the fact that we're not doing enough. And why are we relaxed about it? We're already playing pre-season games. We should be well on top of it by this point. And we should have far more in. There was a statistic that was doing the rounds a few weeks ago that said, by the time the first pre-season games kicked off, historically Liverpool have usually had 50% of their transfer business done. Well, if that's the case going into this one, then we only have one transfer to look forward to, going off past time. So I don't know. I'm not relaxed about it because we've had so many years of FSG under delivering that I'm stressed because I want him to succeed. I really, really do. It's pre-season and main players are out, but still don't see how Georgie can be Ali's successor. Terrible footwork. Also, do you see any future with Frimpong? On Frimpong, I don't know. I don't mind him being a squad player, but I don't ever see him being somebody that nails down a starting 11 place every week. But that's okay. On Georgie, I'm with you. I'm not convinced yet, but I wouldn't rule him out either. But I'm not seeing anything that makes me think this guy is world class. You know, decent goalkeeper, potential. But I never remember making a save or two where I go, oh, wow. You know, like Alisson, we get used to that so much. So yeah, not sure on him either. We'll never understand why we let Kelleher go the way we did. Didn't put a buyback option in it. Craig's adamant, always been our Prince Charming. Thank you, Didinho. Pleasure, sir, as always. Huijsen. Oh, I'd love Huijsen, but I don't think Madrid would sell. What's this that Crosby sending me? Second half 11 or... So, Kirkes, Kumas, Chiesa, Nioni and Soboslai all coming on in the second half for Liverpool. So again, Kirkes, Kumas, Chiesa, Nioni and Soboslai coming on here in the second half. Right, we're about to get underway with the second half. So let me just get the clock ready here. Liverpool playing from left to right. Soboslai about to kick us off for the second half. Right, we're underway, ladies and gentlemen. We're underway with the second half. Xbox is ex-gamer said, hey Craig, excited about the season after the woeful football last season. Our young, great players will now get a chance. Your channel is the best. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the kind words on the channel. And yeah, look, the young lads are never going to get a better chance than this pre-season because a lot of lads are late back from the World Cup and whatnot. So they have a really good chance here to put themselves in the manager's thinking. And here we go. Already you can see Dominic Szoboszlai setting that press and setting the tempo early doors here. Free kick here to Liverpool, a foul on Ndai. Just outside the centre circle, inside the Liverpool half. Tipsy Dipsy, 11 months, bro, thank you. Hughes is like a player near the end of his contract. Media saying they're hard at work behind the scenes, yet we all know he won't put in 100%. You know, I wonder, is he sidelined? You know, when is other people just doing the work at this point? Because I don't know how you can trust somebody that, as I said before, doesn't even want to stay around. It's ridiculous. Like Richard Hughes came from Bournemouth to Liverpool. This should be the pinnacle of his career. And he wants to run off to Al Hilal. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. Right, Frimpong dispossessed. Sunderland have a back ball played inside. So McConnell stayed on. He's still on for the second half. Szoboszlai is playing quite advanced. Morrison still staying on the right-hand side of attack as well. Back to Frimpong. Trainioni. Love Trainioni as a footballer, by the way. Definitely somebody I hope that the club keep around for the long term. Never get my jokes. Adamant Prince Charming. I didn't ever pay any attention to Adamant's music, Didinho. Sorry, man, if I'm not picking up on the jokes, but I was just thinking you were being kind, Didinho, calling me Prince Charming. I was happy enough with that, bro. The only, I think, Stand and Deliver, is that his song? I think that's the only Adamant song maybe I know. That's Stand and Deliver. That's the only one. I see people talking about Trent in the chat. That's another one, of course, that the genius has let run his contract down. Great work, lads. Top work all around. Sunderland now on the attack. Down our left-hand side. Good defended. Well done. And Ndai steps across, puts that out. Well done, young man. Tyler said, WTF pre-season already. Where are we playing to be up at this time? Nashville. We're in Nashville for this one, mate. Another game on Wednesday, I think 12:30 kickoff. So a later one for that. And then we finish up with Leeds United on a 9 p.m. game. And then obviously back to Anfield. Sunderland on the attack again. Eventually Liverpool get enough bodies in there between Ndweke, Kirkes and others to crowd them out, and the ball's with Georgi Mamardashvili. Everyone wants to spend. I like being a club that doesn't spend more than they have. I don't think you understand how finance works. Like, because Liverpool spend 50 million more than they brought in this year, Sunderland are now 2-1 up, by the way. It doesn't mean we don't have the ability to spend money. They choose not to. And I want Liverpool to win. And whatever way you look at it, investment is important. So it's 2-1 now, Sunderland. Ball went out to Frimpong, who slips. Frimpong slips. Sunderland then have the ball. Slip a ball through. We were a little bit behind, and Ndweke was a little bit deeper than he should have been there. Messed up the defensive line. He was a bit deeper, which allowed the Sunderland player to stay onside, and then he slams it in past Georgie, and it's 2-1. But yeah, you can see, and Ndweke there was about 3 yards deeper than everybody else, and he was playing him onside. Those two central defenders are awful. You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking absolute shite. So the two centre-backs are awful because Frimpong slipped and gave the ball away. Good man. Way to support the two young centre-backs, mate. Well done. You definitely aren't full of shit. Two young centre-backs and you're here slaughtering them because Frimpong has ice skates on. Good man. Thank God, though, we have the patience, to let these lads progress and, the fans that get behind them. See, Axel Media, can we stop with this shit? Slating FSG, the state of us before they came in. Right. But what's that got to do with now? Like I said before, why are we comparing them to the very worst? Why don't we compare them to when Liverpool were dominant and breaking records and signing the best players? Why are we holding them to the lowest standard of Hicks and Gillette? And why do we care? FSG aren't doing their job. Call it out. Because I don't know about you, but I want the manager and players to have the best possible chance. I don't give a shit about John Dundee Henry having an extra 100 million in his bank balance. He's going to make a fortune when they sell up. So why are we comparing these owners to the worst owners before? That's not the fucking standard. That's just ridiculous. How about saying they've done a lot but not enough? And say they've done a lot of good stuff but not enough. That's a more fair, balanced way to talk about it. And if you look at the stuff that they have done, what have they done that hasn't been to add value to their own asset? Any road end makes it more valuable. Main stand makes it more valuable. AXA Training Centre makes the club more valuable. Am I wrong? Extra hospitality seats makes the club more valuable. So they're doing things that anybody would do with the access to the money with half a brain. It's like me moving into an estate, putting an extension on my house and then going around knocking everybody's door saying, look, I put an extension on, my house is worth more money now. Praise me. Tell me how great I am. It's a bit weird. The owners are there to sign the checks. That's it. They'll be gone with their billions in the future. It's our job as fans to hold them to account. Neoni. Ndweke. Are you doing player ratings? No, not for this one. Not for the preseason games, James. No. There were just too many images as well, you know, for having to go through 2 sets of 11. Oof, good ball in. Good ball in from Liverpool across the front of the 6-yard box. There was a collision though. One of the Liverpool lads is down. It's Costas, or excuse me, Kirkes is down holding his lower back. Hopefully he's okay. Szoboszlai plays the ball into Frimpong. Frimpong fires in an early cross. A great ball. And Kirkes throws himself at it, but in the landing, I think he landed on the small of his back. He's back up though, which is good to see. Scanlon getting ready to come on now for Liverpool. Jaden said, went from 6 to 7 centre-backs to 3, half always injured. I know, it's crazy. Morrison. Frimpong. And Ndweke crossed it and die. Kirkes. Stephen said, these kids are new, first time out there, bound to be mistakes, they'll get better. It's pre-season. I don't put any real emphasis on pre-season results or anything, Stephen. It's about fitness, getting used to patterns, getting used to the movements of your teammates. And the pitch doesn't look great either, if I'm being honest, but yeah, these are kids. And we haven't even got half the senior team back in yet. So for me, I just look at this as a bonus and, you know, I don't want any injuries. But unfortunately, we got that with Gomez. But I don't mind the result. And I'm certainly not going to be going in on the youngsters. Frimpong now gathers the ball again. Not much support. Goes back to Neoni. Morrison. To McConnell. Back to Morrison. McConnell. Morrison. Neoni. And Dye. He goes out to Kirkes left side. Kirkes. Ball slipped in again. Ball pulled back. Unlucky. Unlucky. Strike. Oh, yes. We'll take that for 2-2. Hello. Yes. 2-2. Szoboszlai. I believe it's Szoboszlai. Was it Szoboszlai who hit it? But it's 2-2 anyway. I think it was Dom. Keeper didn't move. Flew past him. Let's have a look. So Kirkes plays the ball down the line. Gets it back. Pulls it to the edge of the box. It's cleared initially. Drops to Dom. Oh, it's just a great strike. Dom chests it down. Hits it straight away. Keeper hadn't even set himself. And the ball's flying in past his near post. Ooh. Ooh. What a strike from Dom. Oh, could look at that all day. What a strike. Keeper didn't even move. Absolutely top notch from Dom. 2-2. Beautiful goal. Some good strikes. The second Sunderland goal was also, or the first Sunderland goal, excuse me, was also a wonderful strike. But yes, Dom really did put the laces through that one. Absolutely stunning. What a man. So happy he signed a new deal. I mean, surely a future captain at the club. Great from Kumas as well. Yeah, good shout. Good shout, Rick. Frimpong. Victor said, as a Hungarian, I'm so proud of Dominic. As you should be, mate. As you should be. A wonderful footballer. Wonderful player. And yeah, I'm so relieved, Victor, that he signed a new deal. I was worried that Madrid were going to come sniffing around. Any hot takes on the Premier League this year? No, it's a tough one, Andrew. Like, it's difficult to get a read on it because, as I was saying earlier on, mate, so many new coaches, so many teams with changes. It's really difficult to know how it will go. Like, you'd have to look at Chelsea and think, with no European football, yes, it's not a great thing financially, but for Alonso to keep his squad fit for one game a week, pretty much, you'd have to say they're going to be a problem. It'll be interesting to see how United get on now that they're back to having European football and stuff. There we go. Liverpool again aggressively pressing. Dom, Morrison, Kumas. You can see the aggression in Liverpool's play, and it's stepped up a level in the second half since Dom has come on. He really is setting the tempo. And Spurs, yeah. I mean, Spurs spending huge money as well, bringing in Tonali, bringing in Mateus Fernandes, obviously looking to bring in an attacker as well. Brought in Andy Robertson, brought in Senesi. Here's Morrison again, round the outside, ball across. Oof, unlucky. Good play. Unlucky. Scanlon it was coming into far post, but Kieran Morrison's head down, has a run, ball across, lovely ball, unlucky. Good play though. He's a very exciting player, Morrison. Daily LFC, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Well in. Good tracking back, Mr. Neone. Well done, young man. Wins it back for Liverpool. Slips it in now to Kirkes. Kirkes down the left-hand side. Scanlon goes ahead of him. Kirkes plays the ball infield. Ball comes through. Drops to Kumas, who has a swing at it, but doesn't really get much purchase on it, and the ball goes harmlessly through to the Sunderland keeper. Fede involved in the build-up there as well. Jersey Striker, how are you, bro? Said, hey, Craig, much love to you and yours from LA. Thanks for all you do. Who are the 3 signings you feel we need? I like Zabarani, Kayode, and Barcola. I think I might be wrong on this, so forgive me if I am, bro, but I think Kayode signed a new deal recently with Brentford. I'd like Barcola. Zabarani I can understand, but I'd prefer us to go and get somebody like Schlotterbeck. I know he has a knee injury at the minute, but I think looking to our successor to Virgil in the longer term, I'd like him. Neco Williams, Jed Spence, somebody of that ilk who can play on both fullback positions wouldn't be a bad show for cover. And then after that, I guess it depends who moves on. I like what I'm seeing with the high press, said Derek. Yeah, I couldn't believe the guy earlier on who said they hadn't noticed any difference from Slot's time. I don't get it. You can see so much more aggression and front-footedness in the way Liverpool are looking to play, particularly since Dom has come on here. Morrison again doing good work down the right-hand side. Plays it into Frimpong. Frimpong wins a corner. Scanlon and Morrison very quick. Dom's a Rolls Royce. He really is, Aaron. He's a wonderful, wonderful player. I was watching the Inside Nashville training video and just watching Dom take free kicks and striking the ball. He was just burying them one after another. Like, it's ridiculous how good of a striker the ball he is. And then you add in his energy and aggression as well. It's, yeah, happy days. Cross in from the corner, cleared away by Sunderland. Liverpool have it back though. Kirkes outside of the football, back across to Dom. He's got Neone with him there if he needs him. Gives it to Trey. Lovely slip ball in. Kumas unlucky. Good football, Liverpool. Good football. Ball played in to Neone. Neone then spots the run of Kumas. Slide rule pass in behind. The angle was tough for Kumas with the keeper coming out. Gets your shot away, but the keeper touches it behind. It'll be another Liverpool corner. Kirkes now. Less said about that strike from Milos, the better. Slices it high and wide. Connor said, hey Craig, love your videos. Do you think there's a chance we sign Barcola and an out-and-out right winger? Phil, we need another left-footed winger with a lot of pace. I really would be very surprised to see 2 more wingers come in unless Gakpo left. And with Barcola, I totally understand the point you're making about him being more of a natural left winger, but I think we're going to have to shift somebody else across, like we did with Sadio Mane when Mo came in. Because if you look at the options out there on the right side, there's not a whole lot around in the market that you would say is gettable and good enough. You know, I still think now that Real Madrid are making it clear they're going for Diamande, I'd love to see us try and put a bid in for Elise. And I mean, I'm not saying it gets done. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but he's the best option you could get. So why not have a chat about it and see if there's any avenue to making that happen? Again, Neoni, composed. He always just looks like a classy operator out there, Trey, when he plays. Kirkes dispossessed. Sunderland. Again, look at the aggression there from Dom this time. A little bit too much for the referee's liking. Gives a free kick, but Dom again, right up there, being aggressive. We need a striker. I don't think we do, Ross. I get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to say it's a silly shout we're at, mate, but if you think about it, we need a striker for 5 months. But you can't sign somebody for 4 years when you spend £200 million on centre forwards and bring in another one. So we also have young Will Wright, Jayden Danns, who obviously wasn't fit enough to go on the pre-season tour. And you can get somebody playing in a false 9 if needs be. I'm not saying it's ideal, but I just think after dropping 200 million on strikers, it just would feel mad. Because what happens then when Hugh goes back? We have another headache then, and an unhappy player probably. That's why I was so adamant somebody like a Jared Bowen would have been great, or a Ferran Torres, somebody like that could utilise right across the front line. Georgie. Ndai plays a nice ball in to Kirkes. Scanlon. Lovely little 1-2. Still Scanlon. Left side. Soboslai. Frimpong and loads of space on this right side if anyone can get their head up. Ball in. And again, Sunderland managed to clear their lines. But it's been a much, much better second half from Liverpool compared to the first half. A lot more aggression and looking a lot more controlled. Neoni gives me Vieira vibes, so calm. Yeah, when he fills out as well, you know, gets a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. Here comes Calvin Ramsey, by the way. So we're going to have a look at Calvin Ramsey coming on now for Frimpong. Kieran Morrison going off as well. I think Joshua Abe coming on. So yeah, Joshua Abe coming on for, I think, Morrison. Ramsey coming on. And I think Ndai coming off here as well. He's going to be replaced. Freddie Woodman going in goal as well. So a few changes here for the Reds. Sunderland, I think, making a goalkeeping change also. So 67 minutes, halfway through the second half. And both managers making more changes. So it was Elberg for Moore for Sunderland. I'm sure they'll give us the Liverpool changes on screen in a sec. But yeah, young Joshua Abe is on the right-hand side now where Morrison was. And of course, Ramsey straight into the action there, giving away a free kick is the first bit of work that Calvin Ramsey does when he comes on. So he's on for Frimpong at right back. Abe on for Morrison at right wing. Freddie Woodman on for Georgie Mamardashvili in goal. And I didn't see who the fourth change was, so forgive me. Right, free kick to Sunderland, wide left. Liverpool holding a line about 2 yards ahead of the 6-yard box. Ball in. Goal kick. Comes off Sunderland player's head, goes harmlessly behind. Why is the game so late? It's in America, mate. The Reds are on a pre-season tour of America. So we've got 3 games in the United States and then games against Monaco and Como back at Anfield. Abe, Chambers, Ramsey, Woodman. Thank you, Mark. So it was Chambers was the other one. Thank you, Mark. And other people in the chat as well. Hayden, thank you, mate. I see a couple of people putting his name in. Misty as well, thank you. Darwin, come back, please. Please don't. Please don't, Darwin. Just please don't come back. Just stay wherever you are. Did we all just forget how bad Darwin was? Like, can't get into an Al Hilal team, but again, I'm supposed to believe he's good enough for us. And the only side really showing interest is an MLS move. I mean, you're all right. I'll pass on that one, thanks. Liam said, Craig, I'm looking at Andoni Morrison thinking we couldn't be completely screwed if we don't make any more signings. However, I think it would be embarrassing if we didn't. We have to make more signings. We need another centre-back. We need a right-back. We need a right winger. And that's bare minimum, I think. Sunderland now on the attack. Edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Liverpool with everyone back behind the ball. Man on, man on. Kirkes, back to Woodman. Woodman puts the boot through it and launches it long. Yeah, we did think Darwin was going to be like Haaland. I'm not going to lie, Rick. I had high hopes for Darwin. And look, the thing you got to say about Darwin is he does have all the tools. He's physical, strong, powerful, runs the channels. It's just when it comes down to the important part for a centre forward, you know, putting the ball in the back of the net, that's where he seemed to have issues. Charlie, thank you, man, for the kind words on the shirt. First time I've ever worn it. It's been in the box since I got it when they released it, but yeah, thought I'd break it out for pre-season. Why the black armbands? It's for Kevin Keegan, Anthony. Kevin Keegan passed away very recently at the age of 75 after a brief battle with cancer. Abe now. Go on, Joshua. Go on. Nothing on. So Abe goes back to Neoni. Oh, hello. There you go. 3-2 to the Reds. Fede Chiesa with his first goal of pre-season to make it 3-2 to Liverpool. There we go. Chiesa bangs it past the keeper at the near post. 3-2 to the Reds. I think the assist from Calvin Ramsey, which will be good for him. Let's have a look. Ball goes out to Ramsey. And yeah, he just slips one down the line to Fede, who probably can't believe the space he's in. Keeper comes out. Fede gives him the eyes and then just lifts it in at the near post. Well done. And well done to Joshua Abe there as well, by the way, because he didn't try and force the issue when nothing was on. He was patient. He went back and then Liverpool reset. And there we are, a couple of seconds later, the ball's in the net. So a little bit of love there for Joshua Abe as well. So yeah, happy days all around. Chiesa gets off the mark, an assist for Calvin Ramsey. And a nice bit of mature play in there from Abe as well. So 72 minutes on the clock. And Liverpool 3-2 up at present. Where did I get the kit? I bought it from the Liverpool store, mate. I bought it online. It's part of the throwback stuff from 1996. Now, it was quite expensive. I think it was like €150 for the shirt. But yeah, Yeah, I bought this and then I bought the green and white, the real version of it as well. So, who's impressed you so far, lads, in this second half? You'd have to say, obviously, Dominic Szoboszlai's come in and looked the business from the off, but um, definitely been impressed with Nioni. Been impressed with Kirkes' energy as well. Morrison, I thought, had a very good hour or so when he was on. Is the Anfield Agenda FPL up and running? I think Keane set one up the other day. We haven't promoted it or anything yet, but Keane set one up the other day. So yes, there is one. Don't forget to check out our brand new website as well, folks, that just launched this week, AnfieldAgenda.com. Do check it out. Loads of articles and stuff up there, including a regular column from yours truly. Cross in. Szoboszlai put it behind to make sure that there was nobody behind him. Didn't get a shout from anyone, so it will be a Sunderland corner. But yeah, do check out the brand new website, AnfieldAgenda.com. Only launched this week. What made me become a Liverpool fan? It was the 2-0 loss to Arsenal when they won the old First Division title at Anfield. Weirdly, it was a loss that made me become a Liverpool fan. It's always a strange story when I tell it, but that's the case. I was a youngster. I was 8 years of age. My mum and dad were out at a friend's house having a few drinks and a bit of dinner. And I was watching this game unfold on ITV in the living room as a kid, and I was captivated by Anfield. And even though Liverpool lost that day, I became a Liverpool fan. What's my favourite kit over the years? The one I'm wearing, the green and white version of this, was my favourite. And then there was another orange one that had the same year, I think, as this, that had all the crest patterns around it as well. It's probably because that was a good year in my life, you know. When I was a teenager, I enjoyed that year. I was, 15 then? LFC 00 said, I was really excited when we brought Darwin, but he's been linked with MLS for a reason, just not good enough. Absolutely. And I'm just glad that we got the money we did get from when he did go over to Al Hilal. But yeah, there's not even a whole host of European clubs queuing up to take him in. The news about Hughes is disgraceful, Craig, mate, said David Sweet. It is. Now, we have to say that was just one journalist who threw Richard Hughes' name around. But the whole situation with Hughes is a piss take. And he'll be gone by the end of this window anyway, by the looks of it, to Al Hilal. Carbon said, not going to lie, we can't not get Raid of Trey and some of these youngsters. I know it's pre-season, but we got to keep them. Yes. Like, I know Nioni was really close. We were talking about it. There was lots of talk about a loan move to Swansea. And one report said he was 50-50, whether he even be on the pre-season tour or going out on loan. But I do think, yes, we can afford to be selfish with the young players and keep them in until we know how we're fixed at the end of the window. No point in leaving ourselves short. Right, corner to Liverpool again. Another good bit of play down the left-hand side. Sunderland player gets across. It was Scanlon as well, making the run. Get his head down, had a pop. Challenge comes in on him. Corner to Liverpool on the far side. Right, Dom to take it. 77 minutes on the clock. What was the Hughes story? I'll read it out in 1 second, my friend. Just let me get this corner out of the way. Ball from Dom, floated out to the box to Nioni. Bounces it down. Header. Abe heads it back across. Oh! Some last-ditch defending there from Sunderland underneath their own crossbar, and they just about clear the lines. So the story was Sacha Tavolieri, a Belgian journalist, said, Al Hilal continued to explore the market for attacking players. In the Luis Diaz case, Richard Hughes is leading the negotiations. Now, why is our sporting director leading negotiations for Al Hilal and Bayern Munich over a deal when he's still employed by Liverpool Football Club? So that was the news. Went a little bit deeper, went on to say the Saudi club is convinced the Colombians can put a salary worth about 25 million per season. It's important to clarify that no talks have taken place between the clubs yet, just an agreement with the player looking to be reached first. And then they went to talk about the budget that Al Hilal have, but it's a joke. Like, even reading that as a Liverpool fan, it's insane. Loving that shirt, Craig. That's the one I want, but can't afford it at the moment. A lot of money. It is an expensive one, and I probably wouldn't have bought it only for I have an affinity with blackout shirts when the club released them. Over the years, I've tended to buy them when they've come out, and this is just my favourite Liverpool shirt ever, the green and white one. So when I seen the blackout version, I had to get it. And you know me, sure, I'm an Adidas fanboy anyway, so right, Sunderland in possession, halfway inside their own half. By the way, let me just say quickly, and I don't think I've said it yet, but thank you all so much for being here with us for the first game of pre-season. If you're joining us for the very first time, you are absolutely welcome along. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name's Craig. I'm the regular host here on the channel. You'll also see Lewis popping on. Connor will be here as well. Chris, you'll see a few bits and pieces. Don't forget as well, we do have a second channel, Anfield Agenda Extra, where you will mostly see Lewis, Connor and Chris on there. But do check it out if you haven't. And hopefully you've enjoyed the stream so far. Love to see you back for the rest of pre-season and hopefully the season ahead. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you can't, drop a like, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, appreciate you guys so much. I'm so grateful for your support and for the community we've built here over the years. So pleasure to be here with you. And again, thank you for trusting us. So Sunderland in possession, far side of the pitch. Chiesa went down looking for a free kick. Referee said nothing doing. Wouldn't be anywhere else. Love that, Misty. Thank you, my friend. John Oettinger, thank you. John's gifted 5 Anfield Agenda memberships to the chat. Thank you, John. Top man. Rick said, good to be back, Craig. To be honest, I try not to watch transfer news. It frustrates me how we never do anything. Oh yeah, look, it frustrates me for a couple of reasons this summer. One, I'm running a fan channel. I'd like some good news to talk about with people, but I get it. I've always been somebody though who loves transfer windows. You know, even as a kid, I used to read the newspapers trying to find out everything I could. Marty said they seem to get it together more in the second half. Absolutely agree. Certainly been more aggression, and it's no surprise that, you know, a few more of the senior players there, Marty, were on for the second half. But Dom really set the tone straight away. Craig, when about is the friendly at Anfield? There's 2, Scotty. So there's a double header against Como, and then there's a game against Monaco. I don't know the dates. I'll have to have a quick look at my phone to check those dates for you, but 1 second. Let me just check this for you, mate. I think I have my images here somewhere for pre-season. Unless I've deleted it. No, my dumbass, I probably have. No, that's the fixtures. I don't have pre-season ahead of me. I'm sure somebody in the chat will be able to give you the dates on it. The double header against Como, one of them is behind closed doors, but it is going to be on LFC TV. 9th and the 16th, thank you. 9th and the 16th. A couple of people in the chat saying, thank you, Liverpool 1. And again, Wardy Fox as well. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you. When is Isak back for pre-season? Do you know what? We touched on this the other day, actually. 1 sec. I do know the answer to this one. I think Virgil anyway has been given a little bit of time off, but we went through a list here the other day of the dates that the lads are back in for pre-season. So bear with me, I'll try and find it. work through this for you now. Hang on. Where's my list with all the players coming back? I'm flying through all my notes here trying to find it for you, mate. Where is that list? Oh my God, I've gone through like about 200 pictures here and I can't find the list. Sorry. Yeah, forgive me, mate. I can't find the list. Some of the lads are back this week, but not on the USA tour. Yes, there is some of the lads coming back. I do have it in my notes somewhere, but I'd have to go through a few days worth of notes to find it. And at this moment in time, I can't find it. Oh, Liverpool. There's a fourth. There's a fourth. Koumas got himself a goal. Well done, Lewis Koumas. Liverpool 4, Sunderland 2. Koumas showing that cool composure in front of goal. There you go. 4-2. Liverpool turned it around from being 2-1 down. Lewis Koumas on the score sheet. Assist from Dom. Koumas turns to the defender, then picks a spot. Side foots it past the keeper. Again, good work from Dominic Szoboszlai. Ball played into Chiesa, then to Dom. Dom gets his head up, rolls the ball in. Koumas points where he wants it as well. Love that from Koumas. Pointing where he wanted the ball. Dom duly plays it into him, and then it's in the back of the net. Carbon said, not going to lie, we cannot knock... Oh, we've done that one already. Sorry, mate. This one, not watching, thoughts on our playing style. Much better second half, Jeremy. But again, there was a lot of youngsters in the first half. And when Dom came on, Kirkes came on, you could see the intensity went up. But delighted for young Koumas, and Kieran Morrison as well grabbed himself a goal in the first half. So yeah, good. We were 2-1 down at one point and turned it back around to lead 4-2. And there's, look at this. Again, Liverpool on the go. Scanlon. Chiesa. He's got nobody with him. He's leading a bit of support. Another strike from Koumas. It ricochets up into the goalkeeper's arms. But again, Liverpool going through the moves here. Craig, I don't understand why we don't go in for Julian Brandt. He's a free agent. Again, it would have to be the type of profile of player that Andoni Iraola would feel would fit in. I'm not saying he would or wouldn't. I haven't really kept track of Julian Brandt since he's been at Dortmund. I think Leeds were linked with him recently, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly, would we agree that Chiesa's had a big impact in this game as well? Getting himself into some good positions, obviously grabbed himself a goal, but apart from that, it just feels like he certainly made an impression in this game. How am I watching it? On LFC TV? Calvin Ramsey is clear for me and Frimpong at right back. Koumas, Nioni, Ramsey being very good, very impressed, says Laura Mack. I'm loving the intensity, said Carabasello. Birdo said yes to Chiesa having an impact. Chiesa's looked very good. Yeah, he took his goal very well. And yeah, good. I'm glad I'm not imagining it anyway. This one. This is Iraola ball. I'm for it. So chasing vlogs. Leach said, hey Craig, do you think we will sell players like Elliott, Jones, Chiesa, or we keep them around? So the plan has been to sell Chiesa. James Pearce was even saying that the other day. The plan is still for a Chiesa to leave, but it would have to be late in the window after Liverpool have done their business. Elliott, again, I think the plan is to sell him because he's only got 1 year to go. And with Jones, the line from the club is that they're happy to let him go for nothing in a year's time if they can't agree an extension. But I also know he's open to the Inter Milan move. So honestly, I wouldn't be overly optimistic on the three of them staying. Jones probably has the best chance of the three. But even at that, I wouldn't be 100% certain. Right, 89 minutes on the clock. What do you think of Mamardashvili, and has he impressed you? He hasn't impressed me, but he hasn't done anything where I think, oh my God, he's horrendous either. I'm on the fence, and I'm not yet 100% either way on Georgie. You know, he hasn't given me a moment where I've gone, oh my God, that's out of this world, or I think he looks decent, but it's hard to compare him because I'm comparing him to the best goalkeeper of my lifetime in a Liverpool shirt. So I don't know, you know, if that's an unfair comparison to be measuring him against Alisson. But I'll tell you this, I would give Alisson a new deal. If Alisson can, you know, keep the injuries to a minimum, I don't see any reason why we couldn't look to extend Alisson by another couple of years. Can I show you the match stats? I don't have them. I don't have them to hand, mate. We always bring them in for... It's very difficult in games like this to get that type of data and have it available. So it's over, by the way. The final whistle has gone, and the Reds are off to a winning start under Andoni Iraola in pre-season. It finishes in Nashville, Liverpool 4, Sunderland 2. The Reds went ahead, then went behind, then turned it around and won 4-2. But ultimately, the big stories of the day, couple of things. One, Joe Gomez went off after just 7 or 8 minutes. We don't know how serious the injury is. And also, second half, big improvement when the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, Milos Kerkez, Joshua Abe came on, Kumat came on and did well, Nioni really well. Yeah, lots to be positive about, ladies and gentlemen. And again, don't forget, we have a couple more games coming up in the United States. So before I let you all go and head off and enjoy yourselves for the night, don't forget, check out the brand new website, AnfieldAgenda.com. Scan that QR code there on the screen, or just check it out at visit AnfieldAgenda.com. We hope it's your new home for all things Liverpool Football Club related. And appreciate you all for joining me this evening. I know it's a late one, but again, your support means the world. Mate, where did you get that shirt? It's 10 out of 10. Impressed by the kids tonight. Got it off the club store. It's part of the bring back range from Adidas from the 1996 set of kits. It's it's the blackout version of that. But appreciate you, Curtis, and thank you. And yeah, impressed by the kids as well. Look, I'm going to go record a little reaction, give you my thoughts on the game and a few other bits and pieces. But appreciate you all for coming in tonight and joining us. Really do appreciate your support. Means the world to us here. If you can hit the like button for me before you head off, we're so close to 2,000 likes. If you can hit that like button for me, and if you haven't subscribed, we'd love you to do that as well. So we'll be back here tomorrow. We'll have a video in the morning with Lewis. I'll be here at about 4:30 with a news video. And of course, we'll have a late night agenda stream for you guys tomorrow night at 8:30, as we always do. But again, can't thank you enough for your time. We really appreciate it. One more chat came in I have to go through. I'm starting to think the kids could do a decent job this season. What's your opinion? No. We can't be relying on kids to bail us out. They can fill out the squad a little bit. We can promote 1 or 2 of them through. But let's not be fooling ourselves after a game in pre-season to think that over the course of a long season, we're not going to need more top-notch reinforcements. Look at what other clubs are doing in the market. Yes, 1 or 2, absolutely. But we need to be active in the market. Hey Craig, hope you're well. Been very impressed with Trey in midfield, and I love Kumas already. Chiesa, I don't think did himself any harm either. What do you think? I think you've nailed it, Shane. I don't disagree with the words you've written, bro. Always been a big fan of Trey. Always looks really complete as a young footballer. Kumas, yeah, he said he's eager to please the manager and eager to show him what he can do. And he's come on today and done that, got himself a goal. And with regards to Chiesa, I think everybody would agree. Decent showing from him, and let's see what happens. But look, I'm going to say goodnight to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for dropping in. We will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, whatever it is you're up to. And thank you so much.